association and what could be ahead for what should be another exciting season of hockey.
Let's go to the GLIAC scoreboard one more time, wrap up the final scores. To date in the GLIAC here today, Michigan Tech defeats Hillsdale 21-6. It was Davenport going on the road to Bowie State. Got a 17-14 win to move to 2-0 this season. Northwood University stuns Saginaw Valley in the Axe Bowl in Midland, 10-7 the final score in that ball game. Findlay at Wayne State today, and the Oilers win it 42-30. Wisconsin Whitewater tops Roosevelt, the league newcomer, 24-14. And finally, Wisconsin Lacrosse defeats Northern Michigan today, 35-21. Grand Valley State and Colorado State Pueblo will meet up tonight at 8 o'clock as the Lakers look for a second straight win to open the year, and we'll keep our eyes on that one.
Yeah, we will definitely be looking at that one. That's a game with not only regional implications in terms of looking at how teams could potentially stack up even at this early stage of the season, but also a major national game.
Sandy, as we look at this game here tonight, what are some keys for the Bulldogs to try to find a way to get a win and move to 2-1 on the year?
Well, I think one of the keys, we saw Chase Ford and Des Libertus down there, a couple of former Bulldogs that played for Ashland last year and had 3 of the touchdowns that the Eagles scored. I think part of what happened that put the Bulldogs in that situation were turnovers and penalties, and those are two things that the Bulldogs really need to make sure that they are clean with today.
Exactly
Ashland will take advantage of those things.
Want to build something?
If you're not
start
sharp,
businesses,
Ashland will
build
take advantage.
bridges,
That's
raise
going to be
a
really
whole
important.
city.
I think also
the
fighting
crime, want to save lives, do it all here. But you've got to go forward fast. Because today is now, and tomorrow is soon. And to get ahead of the game, you got to get ahead of your time. This is your future, so take it and move all of us forward.
Good in coverage in the secondary, but if the Bulldogs can get a good pass rush and contain the run reasonably, then they're going to have a good chance here in this game.
I'd like to thank all those fans for tuning in here on Flow Sports as well. Live coverage here tonight, Ferris State and Ashland here, non-conference game, but a game that certainly is going to test the Bulldogs here this evening as they take on an Eagle team that has had a lot of success, first under Lee Owens, a longtime head coach. Doug Geisler has kind of picked up where he left off, was on the staff, I think, for almost 20 seasons. He's got a veteran defensive coordinator that's been around, in Tim Rose, who I know Coach Anise has a ton of respect for.
Tremendous respect for. Coach Anise has talked about that many times. You know, you have to feel really good about their defense. If you're an Ashland fan, Bulldogs know they're going to have to be ready for that. But this is a coaching staff that has a lot of familiarity with this program.
And it looks like our national anthem is
Want to be a storyteller? The Television and Digital Media Production program at Ferris State University is the Create space for you. At Ferris, you will apply creative and technical skills to create stories worth telling. You will be immersed in your learning. You will practice every part of the production process. You will create in state-of-the-art facilities with the latest equipment and software. The TDMP program at Ferris State. Learn to make storytelling your career. Find out more at ferris.edu/TDMP.
section starts to fill in at Top Tiger Field. Here this evening should be a fun one here tonight between the Bulldogs and the Eagles in regional play. Then next week, Ferris State on a bye week. Then we'll be back with you in 2 weeks when Ferris State makes the long journey to Springfield, Massachusetts to face American International September 28th. Back at home finally on October 5th against Roosevelt in the GLIAC opener here at Top Tiger Field, and that'll be homecoming weekend.
Yeah, Bulldogs are certainly going to get a break coming up here, and I have to think that that's going to be a positive feeling for the Bulldogs to be able to get that break here. And is trying to look through the foliage there, and it looks like the Bulldogs are making their way out of the Student Recreation Center here. Kind of hard to see here. We still the colors are starting to change here around the area, but foliage still pretty thick right there on the east side of the stadium right there. But it looks like the Bulldogs are making their way out of the locker room, and so should soon be ready to take the turf surface here at Top Tiger Field.
A reminder for ticket scores, merchandise, video, and more, be sure to log on to FerrisStateBulldogs.com. We'll have all the exciting action for you here tonight. The Bulldogs playing minus Carson Gulker, who we had a chance to talk with on the Bulldog Tailgate show out of the parking lot, playing without Connor Neer, who was injured as well. Ethan Sasson on the injured list for the Bulldogs. I believe Brady Rose is in uniform, so that's a positive sign here for the Ferris State offense. But a lot of weapons here on this Ferris State team, and certainly the depth maybe to replace some of those guys. Hopefully not long-term in some of those cases.
Yeah, it's thinking about specifically about Carson Gulker, I think it was great for us to be able to interview him and to see him. And, we both have great respect for Carson Gulker. His teammates have great respect for him, and Bulldog Nation had great respect for him. And he got a lot of love out there in that parking lot as he was making his way through. His attitude was tremendously positive, I thought, and really upbeat. And I loved the things that he said about his encouragement of Trinidad Chambliss, which was really great. And Connor Neer, whose injury obviously is not as serious, nowhere near as serious, but he's going to be rooting for his linebacking core to really hold the line here today as the Bulldogs getting ready to walk into the stadium.
Of course, Carson Gulker, a tremendous leg injury last week and a long road to recovery, but he already looks like he's up and doing well. And certainly, if you took the crutches away, he looked like he could still play some football here tonight.
He did. He looked really good and physically, and he said he's starting to already put some weight on it. And so, knowing Carson and his work ethic, he's going to put himself ahead of schedule. And obviously Coach Haynes does a great job, and our sports medicine team, they do a great job as well. So he's in great hands.
We've got the smoke, the red smoke, making its way in front of the inflatable Bulldog on the far side as the Ferris State Bulldogs line up here to take the field. The Bulldogs on a blackout night wearing the black uniforms with the red helmets, and here come the Bulldogs as Ferris State going to be greeted by the home fans here at Top Tiger Field. This team coming out looking for a second straight win.
They are coming out looking pretty inspired here coming out as the red smoke continues to or wraps up blowing here across south to north here at Top Taggart Field. But great entrance here by the Bulldogs as they are getting ready for what should be a great battle.
Bulldogs going down to the north end zone to take a knee and huddle up in the north end zone where that injury to Carson Gulker did happen last week. That's kind of a Bulldog tradition, but in the same spot as we see Carson just below us making his way down the stands on the crutches to the Bulldog sideline, and a guy like that is going to be there to support his teammates here tonight.
Yeah, there's no bigger fan of this team than Carson Gulker, and he is still a Bulldog through and through, and boy, it is so great to see him back out there right there next to a good friend, former Bulldog quarterback Evan Cummins as well out there. So a number of former Bulldogs here back in the house here tonight.
You mentioned it, Larray Oladipo, Des Libertas, Chase Ford, Evan Cummins. The list goes on. Guys that want to come back and support these current guys here, and maybe in the case of Libertas and Ford on both sides of the football guys they played with.
Yeah, and that's great to see. Great to see guys remain connected with the program, and Chase and Des spent a lot of time here on the sideline. And I know it's going to be tough for those guys. They're guys that won national championships here at Ferris State, and but more recently played, of course, for Ashland, and so going to be some mixed emotions for those guys. But again, you mentioned it's great to see these former student athletes remain connected to the program.
We'll take one final 60-second timeout. This has been the Johnson Automotive pregame show. When we come back, we'll have the Bulldogs and the Eagles right here on the Bulldog Sports Network, Flow Sports, and Sunny 97.3.
When you have a business...
Somebody once said life moves pretty fast, and that's exactly how we like it. Want to build something? Great. Start businesses, build bridges, raise a whole city. Future in fighting crime? Want to save lives? Do it all here. But you've got to go forward fast. Because today is now, and tomorrow is soon. And to get ahead of the game, you got to get ahead of your time. This is your future, so take it and move all of us forward.
And welcome back, everyone, to Ferris State football coverage here at Top Taggart Field. Rob Bentley and Sandy Golston with you on the Bulldog Sports Network, Sunny 97.3 at Flow Sports as we get set for the opening kick between the Bulldogs and the Eagles. Ashland coming out in the yellow pants, the white jerseys with the purple numerals and the white helmets. The Bulldogs in the black jerseys, the black pants, the red numerals with the gold outline and the red helmets. Captains for Ferris State tonight. Brady Rose, who we mentioned was injured, was some concern he wasn't going to play here tonight, but he's out.
Ashland has won the toss, elected to defer until the second.
Brian and Travis Miracle, I believe, the captains here tonight for Ferris State.
It looked good to see Brady Rose back out there, and that's going to be a welcome presence there. He is a big part of what the Bulldogs do, not only offensively but also in special teams as well, as Ashland's won the toss, and they'll elect to defer their possession to the second half.
Of course, part one of Ferris State versus Ashland. Part two tomorrow on the soccer field just to the south of us here in Big Rapids, where the Bulldog women's soccer team will play host to the Eagle women's soccer team at 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. I saw the Ashland women's soccer team in the visitor stands on the far side. The Bulldog women's soccer team will be here tonight. Going to be honored at halftime along with the alums celebrating the 25th anniversary here of Ferris State soccer this season. So a great deal of respect here on both sides. We mentioned it during the tailgate show. We talked with Steve Krispinski along with Cedric Frierson, who works here at Ferris State and played at Ashland University, but tremendous support in terms of the leadership here from both institutions.
Yeah, just tremendous. And it's what you would expect between these two schools. And, it's great that we were able to keep that rivalry going for a while. And who knows, it'll probably renew again at some point, because there's just so much respect between these two programs and two programs that expect to compete at the highest levels of Division II college football, and they do it the right way.
Of course, tremendous deal of respect for a friend of mine, Al King, the athletic director at Ashland University, former sports information director in his own right, along with
legend in sports information, really.
Dusty Sloan, who is their SID right now. So
yeah.
I hope those guys are doing well here as the Bulldogs will get set to receive, and the Eagles will put the ball on the tee with A.J. Rhodes, redshirt junior out of Worcester, Ohio, to tee it up. Ashland's got a lot of young guys, a lot of young talent here on this roster. You look at their two deep, I think there were 14 freshmen maybe, and quite a few sophomores as well on that two deep here on both sides of the football for the Eagles.
Yeah, that's what they said in the two deep. 6 freshmen and 5 sophomores on offense alone. 3 freshmen and a sophomore on special teams, and 5 freshmen and 4 sophomores on defense. So very young but very talented Ashland team.
Bulldogs back to receive. I believe that's Tariq Brett on the far side here for Ferris State. And on the near side, it looks like Cannon Katzer is back there here for Ferris State in the number 30 jersey. So he's going to be part of the return unit. Of course, Rose injured, will not return, at least here to start the ball game. High kick here, spiraling. Going to be fielded here by Tariq Brett at the 10-yard line for the Bulldogs. Trying to turn upfield, finds a hole. He's got some speed down the sideline. A chance to take this one to the house. Touchdown, Bulldogs!
What a start, Tariq Brett. We saw he hit that seam, and you're like, boy, he's got one guy to beat. And then once he did that, he turned on the afterburners, and just like that, in a flash, the Bulldogs are up 6-0.
He's one of the top sprinters in the GLIAC on
like
the Bulldog track and field team, and showed the speed right there as he got past the Ashland special teams unit and puts the Bulldogs on the board in a tremendous start.
Boy, Coach Rock is excited out there. Coach Rock, who does a lot of work with that special teams unit, along with Coach Sugars. Boy, he is really excited.
One of Coach Sugar's guys, Mitch Middleton, the GLIAC Special Teams Player of the Week, is on with Brittany Rose to hold here for Ferris State to try to make it 7-0. Hold is down, kick is on the way, and this kick is up and good. Ferris State strikes early, 13 seconds in. It's 7-0 Bulldogs.
Well, you can't ask for a much better start than that. We were hoping for a good offensive start. Special teams said, hey, hold my Fago. We're going to get a great special team start to this game. Bulldogs up 7-0. Offense hasn't even touched the ball yet.
Big thanks goes out to Pepsi and Gatorade for their support of the Bulldogs. As Ferris State, you wondered what maybe the energy was going to be like coming into this game here tonight. Big game against Ashland, but coming off a big win last week, and any signs of that energy maybe being a letdown have been erased here early.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, if there had been even a hint of a lag of energy, that went away pretty quickly because that whole sideline got fired up, as did the Bulldog fans here at Top Taggart Field to see that great return.
So Ferris State on the board here early to Rick Brett, the Bulldog standout out of the slot, returns one to the house here for Ferris State to give the Bulldogs an early 7-0 lead. 5'8", 176 and a sophomore from Jonesboro, Georgia, takes it back here for the Bulldogs, and he's one of those guys that maybe not quite yet getting as many offensive snaps as he will later in his career, but has shown some value here on special teams.
Well, you can certainly see his explosiveness right there on that return, and we were talking about, I didn't have a chance to mention it, but not a lot of wind here today at Top Taggart Field. The goalpost flags not really moving very much, neither is the American flag, and that kickoff was right there, fielded at about the 10-yard line, and just perfect conditions for a great return.
So Ferris State puts it on the tee here as the Bulldogs will get ready to tee this one off. Middleton has it teed up here for Ferris State. Early 7-0 lead for the Bulldogs, and Mitch is going to boot this one here to the north end. And
great
this
kick.
one's going to bounce all the way through the end zone. No return here for the Eagles as Riley Weiss decides to let that one bounce through.
Well, I'll say good kick. I mean, almost a great one there right there. It's a bounce right on about the goal line there, is trying to see if you could get him to field that ball inside the 5-yard line, and wisely enough did not take the bait, let that one go through the back of the end zone for the touchback.
So Ferris State will line up. Victor Nilsson and Duran Irving Bay will get the start inside here for this Ferris State defense. Arnold Sadov and Stanley Lambert are the two defensive ends here to start the night for Ferris State. As Trevor Bazinski will be the quarterback here for Ashland. He's a good one here for the Eagles.
Yes, he is.
We saw him play against Ferris State last week. Jason Williams coming on the blitz as they give it off. And a nice carry here to start the ball game for Tyrus Stevenson, a sophomore out of Cincinnati, here out of the Eagle backfield.
And Ashland, one thing about Ashland is that they're never going to panic. They're not really going to panic. They're going to stick to the game plan right here. And Ashland knows that they have to establish a running game.
So the Eagles pick up 4 yards here on the opening carry of the contest on their first offensive play, as Bazinski will work out of the shotgun set here for Ashland. He's got one man left, 2 back to the right side of the formation as the Bulldogs have 4. Right at the line of scrimmage, they'll move up 5. And now an inside give to Stevenson again. He bounces off the first tackle, makes a nice little cut and gets it out across the 35, and he's got a first down here for the Eagles.
Well, that was a good run right there. Extra effort there to get just enough to be able to move those chains for a first down, and that has to feel good for Ashland to get that first down established. Bulldogs had pretty good penetration on that run, had a big hit near the line of scrimmage, but nice job by the running back to just keep on pushing.
Sefasai Paia and Jason Williams are the linebackers here tonight for Ferris State with the loss of Connor Neer. Bazinski to throw, and he's able to hook up out near the 49-yard line as the catch is made here for Ashland University by Tony Panunzio, a senior out of Canfield, Ohio.
Yeah, Panunzio, that's one of those familiar names here for the Eagles.
Jake Plomondon will come on the defensive line here for Ferris State as he spells one of the Bulldog defensive linemen here early. Bazinski to throw again. This one incomplete. Had one man short, one long, kind of thrown between the two, and good coverage by Jacarvis Alexander on the back end for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, Bulldogs got some good pressure up the middle there from Victor Nelson able to put a little bit of pressure on Baczynski back there.
13-14 to play here in the first quarter. 7-0. The Bulldogs lead it right here on Flow Sports and the Bulldog Sports Network as Baczynski has the Eagles right at the Ashland 49-yard line here, working up the right side hash. Ferris State on the run blitz here, and Stevenson nowhere to go as he's going to lose some yardage back to the 46 as Tyrone Fowler and company came in to make the stop.
Bulldogs not fooled right there. Fowler and company coming in to make that play in the backfield.
Fowler, the transfer from Indiana of Pennsylvania, which defeated Ashland last week 19-10 in the season opener. Eagles had a little bit of a slow start offensively and are trying to get it going here with a young team here against a very stout Bulldog defense.
Right here, pretty obvious passing down right here unless they try to slip in a draw. Bulldogs showing pressure.
Third and long here for the Eagles. 3rd and 13. Baczynski able to hook up to his tight end, but he's going to be wrestled down after a short gain right at midfield as Justin Payout comes up from the back end to make the stop for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, solid tackle right there by Justin Payout, giving up a lot of size right there. Bulldogs do a good job of keeping everything covered deep downfield, and the pressure release that came underneath, Bulldogs did a good job of making a tackle just a yard past the original line of scrimmage.
Jeremiah Lee will come on to receive here for Ferris State. Came on last week in place of Brady Rose and did a nice job back there in the receiving game here on the punt returns for Ferris State. Bulldogs have 10 right at the line of scrimmage. The punter here for Ashland is a quarterback in Cameron Blair, a redshirt junior out of Magnolia, Ohio.
Bulldogs need to be careful here.
4th and 9 here for the Eagles, and the play clock is expired, I believe.
Well, that
will be delay a game here against Ashland. As I look down at the play clock, it was at zeros. So this will back up the Eagles, and maybe not the worst thing here.
Yeah, gives them a little bit more room to try to place that punt down deep, and it looks like they're going to change some personnel here.
Big thanks goes out to Meyer for their support of Ferris State University Athletics, as they will change punters now as well. So a little bit of a change here as Jaden Cook, Jr. out of Clyde, Ohio, will come on now to punt here for Ashland.
Yeah, they had that unit where they could pooch punt it with the quarterback, but then they go to a traditional punting formation here.
Ferris State with Jeremiah Lee standing at his own 13-yard line here for the Bulldogs. He's able to get this one off. It's a good kick here. Lee will try to field it.
Careful.
Here for the Bulldogs on the move. Lee breaks the first tackle, turns back outside, and gets some good yardage here out to about the 25. Able to pick up 8 or 9 yards here on the return.
Yeah, he was trying to get his Tariq Brett going right there a little bit on a punt that time, but a little better coverage there by Ashland to get down there and make the tackle. But Bulldogs got some players that can be explosive in special teams on the returns.
We'll see the Bulldog offense come out here, engineered by Trinidad Chambliss, the junior from Grand Rapids, as Ferris State will start from the 25. Off the left side hash, Chambliss looking to throw quickly, across the middle, and he hooks up with Amari O'Brien, who breaks the tackle. O'Brien into the open field and down to the Ashland 35-yard line here on the spot.
Boy, Ashland, a missed tackle right there. You cannot afford to miss tackles like that with a player with the ability of Amari O'Brien.
Amari O'Brien off the throw from Trinidad Chambliss as the Bulldog offense in Ashland territory on their first offensive possession here with 10:45 to play in the first.
Yeah, that was one that Amari nearly took to the house right there, but great chase down there by Ashland.
Cannon Cancer left side here at Chambliss working in the gun as O'Brien comes back in motion here to the short side. Chambliss to throw against the four-man rush. Trinidad steps up in the pocket over the top. He's looking deep to the end zone.
Oh, almost a tip drill catch.
Cam Underwood was back there, got a hand on it along with one of the Eagle defensive backs, and O'Brien almost had a diving effort.
Yeah, I tell you what, the tip drill almost worked in the favor of the Bulldogs there, and I think Trinidad actually did a great job of seeing that downfield and maybe just couldn't quite get enough on their pocket. Definitely was collapsing.
Bulldogs have came out trying to fire it here on this opening offensive series. Trips right here in the four-receiver set. Katzer here on 2nd and 10 to the left side of Chambliss. It'll be Trinidad on the quarterback keeper and tripped up on the play after a short gain here down to the 32.
Yeah, I got low bridge
Chambliss
right
on the
there
keeper
as
for a short
diving
gain.
tackle attempt, able to
Bring up a third
upend
long.
Trinidad Chambliss.
Chambliss, Bulldogs are going to have to be a little bit more careful with him with the loss of Golker, but certainly, you know, Coach Anise, the type of guy that likes to use the quarterbacks here in the running game.
He does. That's a big staple of a Tony Anise offense here. Let's see what they can come up with on third.
Chambliss will send Brady Rose out in motion, back to throw. Trinidad rolls out right side, looking downfield.
Oh, what a catch!
Able to hook up with Katzer out of the backfield down to the 20 for a first down.
Unbelievable catch by Cannon Katzer right there. Wow, pass a little bit low, but Cannon Katzer showing some great hands to pick that one up.
Able to reach that one, and Chambliss found him here in tight coverage as the Bulldogs pick up a first down here to move the chains. Chambliss off the right side hash, back to throw again here for the Bulldogs. Looking to the outside, and he's got, I think, Tyrese Hunt-Thompson over there here for the Bulldogs, and he's got another first down to the 10.
Boy, Trinidad looks sharp early.
It'll be first and goal here for the Bulldogs, looking to make it 14-0 here early on against the Eagles tonight in Big Rapids. 9:12 to play in the first. Chambliss with twins left here on the wide side. Tyrese Hunt-Thompson back to the right side. They'll give it off here on the inside. Give to Katzer. Down inside the 5 and all the way to the 1.
Cannon wanted that one, but they were able to trip him up just a little bit short. As Bulldogs will try to bang away at this one more time. They're quickly back to the line of scrimmage. Trinidad
with Katzer to his right here on second and goal. It'll be Katzer up the middle. Did he get in? No. Going to be stopped short here at the 1.
Yeah, good job there by Ashland there. The Bulldogs tried to go quick to maybe catch him a little bit short here. Bulldogs will come in and bring in the heavy package.
So on will come for Ferris State Ben Pristula wearing the 84 jersey here. The big man will check on here in the offensive backfield here to the left. Power look left here for Ferris State. Chambliss has the Bulldogs knocking on the door here. Third and goal from the 1. Katzer to his right as Pristula, the big man, will move in motion over to the right side. Power look right. Trinidad trying to get to the end zone. Touchdown Bulldogs on the corner.
Boy, great look right there. They showed them power inside, had a little bit of motion action going, and then the Bulldogs really tried to beat him with speed to the outside. And one thing we know Trinidad Chambliss has is he has speed right there. As we look at the replay there, Cannon Katzer kind of showed them an inside run, and great job there by Trinidad to beat his man to the outside, extend that football inside the pylon for the touchdown.
Pristula came in motion. He got one or two man. Didn't get maybe the last guy, but Chambliss was able to outrace him right to the pylon, and Ferris State makes it 13-0. Middleton on, and the point after is up and good. 14-0 here, almost to the midway point here in this first quarter.
Yeah, just a great play drawn there by the Bulldogs, and they just did a good job of just kind of showing that inside run in a couple different ways with the motion action. Then Katzer going inside as a lead blocker. That draws the defense in a little bit. Then it was a foot race to the corner, and Trinidad Chambliss is going to win that more often than not.
Tremendous start here tonight for Ferris State as the Bulldogs have jumped in front of the Ashland Eagles 14-0 here, and could not probably have scripted a better start here for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, the Bulldogs look great here early, but they got to keep their foot on the gas pedal right here and cannot allow any let up.
Ferris State and Ashland meeting up here tonight. The Bulldogs trail in the all-time series 16-14. They've had the upper hand as of late, have won 4 straight, but just 5-3 in the Tony Annese era here against the Eagles, who have kind of been a thorn in the Bulldogs' side here at various times over the past decade.
Yeah, they have, and a lot of it is just the quality of that program and that we've been playing them because they're good and they're a thorn in a lot of people's sides, and that's why the Bulldogs cannot let up here in this game. You cannot leave that door open at all.
Mitch Middleton on to kick this one away for Ferris State as the Bulldogs get that special teams unit out there. And we'll see if they can get the coverage downfield here to make the stop. Middleton booted it through the uprights on the PAT after kicking it through the end zone on the last kickoff, and able to do it again this time, even a little bit deeper here out into the Victory View Suites.
Yeah, great kickoff there. Again, Mitch Middleton's got a great leg, and he was able to boot that one through the back of the end zone there. Again, not a lot of movement on those flags, so that's pretty much all leg.
So out will come the Ferris State defense. Caleb Davis will step in on the defensive line here for Ferris State, along with Deron Irving Bay inside. Fowler and Sadov will be the ends. Now Stanley Lambert going to come on as an extra kind of defensive end type guy here for the Bulldogs, as Victor Nilsson will check in late. So some changes here for the Bulldogs as they come with 4 down linemen. They've got Lambert there as the 5th from the edge, trying to come on from the backside, and that'll leave a man open here on the near side, and a nice pickup here for Ashland as they get it out to about the 39 here on the reception.
Yeah, Bulldogs sniffed out the pass coming and tried to get their pass rushing personnel on there. And ends up great job there by Ashland. They overloaded to the left side, come back to the right side, and got a one-on-one matchup. Good tackle by Jacarbus Alexander, who might be a little shaken up.
Nice job by Bazinski to kind of sense Lambert coming from his backside shoulder here as he gives it off this time on the ground. Nothing doing here against the Bulldog front four as Ashland's going to be held to no gain on the carry here on the right side sweep.
Yeah, good job there as Bulldogs able to swarm some guys to the football there to be able to make that tackle, and Stanley Lambert among them to get there and make that one.
Kamara was the tailback that got the snap on that last play here as Ashland will move a man to the left side. Twins left here as Bazinski works out of the shotgun set on 2nd and 10. Back to throw here as they pick up the blitz, looking over the top. He's got a man, and the Bulldogs had 2 guys there, but holding is going to be called in the defensive backfield as they tried to stretch it deep to Jamari Kroom.
Yeah, holding or pass interference, whatever you want to call it. Bulldogs definitely had some contact
Pass
there.
interference.
Maybe not
Defense
the worst
number 4.
move in the world.
15 yards from the previous spot.
Like that.
Automatic first down.
Alston Ware over there on coverage along with Payout coming to help from the safety position, but that's going to give the Eagles a chance to move into Bulldog territory here for the first time at the Ferris State 46-yard line.
Yeah, again, like I said, if you really think you're beat and you know that ball is coming, then that's not the worst move in the world. Better to give up this yardage right here than a touchdown potentially.
Ashland taking its time here as the play clock still at 20. Here as Bazinski looks over to the Ashland sideline, where the play will come all the way back to the near side here on the right side hash. Tight set here with Twins right. Bulldogs showing blitz again. They'll give it off here on the sweep to Kamara again, and he picks up a couple, but he's hit hard.
Yeah, he did.
Met in the hole here by Fowler again and company here for the Bulldogs.
Punishing hit at the end of that drive.
So coming up will be 2nd and 9.
Fowler and Williams on the tackle.
6:50 to play here in this first quarter. Heard Jason Williams' name as well. He was involved in the play, and veteran linebacker that's going to be asked to play maybe even a bigger role here with the loss of Connor Neer.
It's something he's not unfamiliar with. So
Kamara again here off right tackle here for the Eagles as they pound it forward to the 41. But this is going to set up 3rd and about 5 or 6 yards to go here for head coach Doug Geisler and the Eagles.
And one thing we mentioned, Coach Geisler and the Eagles, they're not going to panic. They're going to stick to their game plan. They want to be able to run that football, and they are committed to that one. And that's going to, they hope, put Bazinski in better positions right here. If you have to go to a 3rd and long, then you're going to be in a much better position.
From the right side hash as they fake the give, Bazinski back to throw, pressure coming. He looks downfield and hauled in.
Great
Big
grab.
Catch made by the tight end downfield in Bulldog
pass
territory. Brock
complete
Henney
to number 44,
on the
Brock
reception
Henney.
down to the 11.
Yeah, he put that one right on a string. Brock Henney able to haul that one in. Great throw and catch.
So now the Eagles trailing 14-0 in scoring position deep in Ferris State territory here after the nice throw from Bazinski, who's closing in on being one of the top 10 all-time passers in Ashland history, which is a program that's had a lot of great quarterbacks.
Well, one thing that Ashland's doing really well right now is their interior offensive linemen are doing a pretty good job of trying to slow that pass rush up the middle.
From the right side hash, Bazinski back to throw again here as the Bulldogs trying to disguise the coverage. And that one almost picked off by Leno Smith.
Kuczynski's pass knocked down by number 1, Ferris State, Lento Smith.
Yeah, that time the Bulldogs got a little better pass rush up the middle, and boy, Lento Smith so close to a pick 6.
Bulldogs here have forced Ashland into 2nd and 10. They can pick up a first down here about the 1-yard line here as they're 2nd and 10 from the 11. And we'll see what Ashland comes up with here on this next offensive snap.
If you're Ashland, you cannot leave empty-handed here.
Tailback and Patrick Blubaugh to the right side here at Bazinski working out of the shotgun set. As play clock down to 7. They look back to the sideline. They're going to have to move a little quicker down to 5. They'll give it off here, right side. Trying to break a tackle here as the pile moving forward, then backward. And a short gain here down to the 8, but 3rd down coming up.
They can still get a first down at the 1-yard line, but they're trying to think touchdown right here.
Big thanks goes out to Three Girls Bakery along with Buffalo Wild Wings, Meyer, and Pepsi for their support of the Bulldogs. Inside of 5 to go here in the first quarter. Ferris State football live right here on the Bulldogs Sports Network, Flow Sports. And, of course, our video provided by Ferris State Television, along with radio coverage on Sunny 97.3 and Metro Flint News Talk Radio. Bazinski, some movement, and it's going to be blown dead here as Jason Williams was coming in untouched, and now a little extracurricular activity here as Blubaugh was
Ashland
right there to have a few words for
False
Williams.
start.
Ashland
Offense number
like
74.
got a little extra
5-yard
shot in.
penalty.
The quarterback did
3rd
not
down.
like it.
It will be against the Eagles here on the false start, so that'll push them back. As the type of situation here, 3rd and long, where guys like Sefa in the middle along with Jason Williams, they love to kind of create these situations.
That's what the Bulldogs like to do. They like those interior guys to be able to just wreak havoc right there, draw that offensive line in and open it up for the guys off the edges.
Ashland will spread it out this time from the right side. Twins back to the wide side. One man to the right side. Baczynski looking across the middle to the back of the end zone and tried to hook up with Henny. Might have had a step, but could not haul it in with one hand.
Well, you could see just really frustrated. That's Henny again, as you mentioned, and he got a glove on that ball. Let's see, Bulldogs trying to get that pass rush. Pocket holds a little bit, pass just a little beyond that outstretched hand. Is Ashland going to line up for a field goal attempt?
So Rhodes will come on here for a short field goal here for Ashland in what will be a 30-yard try here off the right side hash, kicking into the Bulldogs student section off the hold of Jaden Cook. As the Bulldogs see if they can get some pressure here on this field goal try. Rhodes awaits. The snap is down. The kick is on the way, has the distance. And this kick is up and good. 14-3 as the Eagles answer. They get some points on the board here to cut into that Bulldog advantage.
Yeah, and they took advantage of a Bulldog penalty on a deep pass, and Bulldogs did not want to risk giving up potentially a long touchdown pass, and they opted to take the penalty and give the Eagles credit. They were able to convert it, not the way they would have liked, but they do get some points on the board.
Of course, a reminder, no football action next week here on our radio dial as the Bulldogs on a rare bye week here in the middle of the season. As we'll be back with coverage in 2 weeks when Ferris State makes the long journey to American International. Another flight, another long road trip. It'll be the second of the season here for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, it's another long one, and going to the East Coast, as we mentioned a few years ago in 2019. Had a chance to go out to Central Washington on the West Coast, and now heading out to the East Coast. Bulldogs, coast-to-coast football.
Of course, the next home game for Ferris State will be homecoming on October 5th when the Roosevelt Lakers come to town. Tickets for that game on sale now at ferrisstatebulldogs.com/tickets. Get your tickets and your parking early before that homecoming contest. Bulldog hockey will open up the season that weekend against the Miami of Ohio Redhawks. Bulldog volleyball will play its first home matches of the season as well the first week of October. So a lot going on for homecoming weekend.
I know how excited you are about all these sporting events coming up, and but it's going to be a lot of fun for our fans, and it's really great to have that many teams participating in homecoming.
Rhodes to kick it away here as the Bulldogs have Brett and Katzer back deep. Shorter kick this time. Going to be fielded by Cannon Katzer here at the 14 here for the Bulldogs. Katzer on the return. Avoids the first tackle. Gets it out across the 30 in a shifty run here to get it out to about the 35 on a nice return here for the Bulldogs.
Cannon Katzer's a tough runner. He's a very balanced runner. I mean, he has some speed. He also has a little shake in him, so he can get around you if he needs to, and he's got a great set of hands as he showed on that last touchdown drive.
He'll be spelled this time as Markel King will come on as the tailback here for Ferris State. Twins right with Underwood and Rose. Back to the near side is O'Brien and Hunt Thompson as Amari will move in motion. Bulldogs will give it off to Markel. Off the right side, good hard run here as he gets it out to about the 41, able to pick up 6 here on the first down carry.
Great running there between the tackles. We know Markel King, a lot of speed as well, as he was able to get between the tackles and get to that linebacker level.
Ferris State football live right here on the Bulldogs Sports Network tonight. As a reminder, you can follow Ferris Athletics on X along with Instagram for live scoring updates here throughout the game. Second and call it 4 here from the 41. Chambliss in the gun. See if he keeps it on the ground. He will to King, and a short pickup here behind that veteran offensive line. It'll be 3rd and 2 coming up here for the Bulldogs.
Bulldogs move the needle there just a little bit, but you mentioned big 3rd and 2 right now. Bulldogs would like to keep this drive going if for no other reason. Don't want to let Ashland get a sense of momentum going.
Call it 3rd and 2 here from the 38. Option pitch here to the near
side.
Look out. And King finds a hole. King into Ashland. Fumbled the football. Was he down or not? I think the Eagles have recovered here back at their own 28-yard line, as that will spoil that Ferris State drive.
Yeah, Markel just did not see that coming, and unfortunately that ball popped loose, and it was just right on his back there, and he just I don't know if he didn't have a chance to really turn around. If he was turned around or even got up, he would have been right on top of the football.
So Ferris State first miscue of the night here for the Bulldogs, and the Eagles trailing 14-3, trying to see some momentum here with 3:22 to go. As he was close to coming down, and it was kind of poked loose there on the tackle, and that was a good call by this officiating crew.
Yeah, no question about it. It's a tough break right there for the Bulldogs, and Bulldogs going to make some changes right here, and umpire didn't let them change.
And Ferris State did get the timeout. The flag was thrown, but the Bulldogs got the timeout called here with 3:22 to play here in the first quarter, so they'll have to expend one here as head coach Tony Anise, I think, going to have a conversation with the officiating crew as we had guys coming and going right there defensively for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, I don't know if it was so much that Ashland made a change or the Bulldogs just did not, maybe weren't quite on the same page with the personnel that they wanted on the field. But Coach Anise is looking hard at the officials, and the referee going to come over and talk to him.
So the referee will have a few more words here in the conversation down on the field as the Bulldogs had to use a timeout here in this first quarter of play. We'll get some more scoring updates here from around the country at halftime. Coming up a little bit later on is Carl Chapman, our referee here tonight, headlining this officiating crew. Patrick Stegeman, I believe, the head linesman, is one of the GLIAC basketball officials. The name sounds familiar.
It does sound familiar. I couldn't quite place it, but
we have a chance, maybe more so, to work with the officials and interact with them during basketball season than we do from all the way up here in the press box during football season. Back to throw is Bazinski. A short throw here across the middle and no one home.
Mike.
Mike Edwards going to be called for the late hit here for Ferris State.
Now, to be in fairness to Mike, I mean, you got to pull up. But in fairness to Mike, that was a flop.
So another penalty whistled here against Ferris
After
State.
the play,
Personal
foul, unnecessary roughness. Number 12 on the defense.
Here in the first
15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Long pass throw by Ashland that resulted in a penalty, which ultimately kind of cost the Bulldogs 3 points here on the scoreboard in the first quarter.
I mean, it's a little bit of a cheap penalty, but at the same time, you can't put yourself in that position, and that's a free 15 yards for this offense.
So that'll move them out to the 43-yard line, first down and 10. Bazinski going to give it off, and nowhere to go here by Richardson, but he spins out of the tackle, stays alive, and gets out of bounds here on the Ferris State sideline right about the 40-yard line.
Oh, my gosh. The Bulldogs just got baited into another penalty.
So now we've got some pushing and shoving going on here as that Bulldog defensive line did not like something that happened there at the end of the play.
Well, they had Lambert down, and they were just beating him up on the ground. The officials weren't really stopping it, and you could see it right there. They're beating him up on the ground, and the officials did nothing about it.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, defense number 34, 15 yards from the end of the run.
I mean,
automatic first down.
It's tough.
That's number 34's first unsportsmanlike in the game.
You don't blame Stanley for wanting to retaliate, but again, if they see what happened first, that he was getting roughed up when he was on the ground, they wouldn't let him up. They were pushing his face into the ground. If they would have took care of that, then it wouldn't have led to the other penalty. But at the same time, Bulldogs got to be smarter. That's two 15-yard personal foul penalties. We've gifted them 30 yards in penalties on this drive.
Bulldogs will rotate some guys out on that defensive line. Sio Saipaia will come on for the first time this year. He was out the first couple weeks, so that's a big addition back on that defensive line here for the Bulldogs. He checks in along with Plamondon at the defensive tackle spots here for Ferris State. Seen Sheldon Cage out there here on this series as well as they try to keep some legs fresh. First down and 10 from the Ferris State 45. Bazinski going to give it off. And again, a short pickup here for Ashland as Stevenson picked up maybe a yard or two here at most.
Yeah, you mentioned Sio Saipaia, Rob, and he's a guy that we saw work really hard in the preseason and early in the regular season to get himself back, to bounce back from injury, and really great to see Sio back out there.
Second and call it 9 yards to go here, 2:30 to play in this first period. As Bazinski works out of the shotgun set, looking deep here, now throws short instead and hooks up here at the 40. Short pickup here as he connects with Panunzio. Once again, he's kind of been the primary target so far for Bazinski tonight.
He has, and a lot of that right over the middle here is Bulldogs trying to get that pass rush up the middle a little bit stronger. They've been rotating some bodies inside and to see if they can get a more consistent pass rush up the middle.
See if the Bulldogs can get off the field here on 3rd and 5. Ball at the Ferris State 40 and what could be 4-down territory here for the Eagles. Bazinski to throw, hit as he throws, and That forced the incompletion as Sefa came up the middle and got some pressure.
Yeah, great pressure up the middle. Bulldogs brought the blitz. Sefa Saipia finds a lane and gets right to Bazinski, and not really much that Bazinski could do is just mainly want to avoid a turnover right there. As they're lining up for this pooch punt set here with the quarterback here, where I guess technically they would have the option. Bulldogs are going to put a true return man back there. So Bulldogs, let me see if they're in more of a punt safe right now.
It'll be Blair, the quarterback, on to punt here for Ashland. 4th and call it 5 from the Ferris State 40 as Lee is back at his own 10. Play clock winding here.
He's got to
down
go.
to 3. He takes it and pooches it. It's a good kick here, and that one is going to be deep here. It's going to roll into the end zone. Almost got it to land there inside the 5.
It did. It dropped at about the 1 yard line, and fortunately for the Bulldogs, momentum took it into the end zone.
Reminder, we'll have the Preferred Office Machines post-game show here on your radio dial when this one's all said and done tonight with our post-game press conference from here inside the Wheeler Pavilion. Been a good one so far. The Bulldogs got off to a great start. In case you just joined us, on a long kickoff return from Tariq Brett to start the ball game, and then able to find the end zone offensively. We're moving into Ashland territory on the last series before a fumble, but the defense gets off the field.
See if that offensive unit can pick it back up again. They've had some success here. Just got to finish this drive.
So the Bulldogs will start here this next series with just 1:50 to play here in this first period as Chambliss drops back to throw, looking over the top for Tyrese Hunt Thompson. He was kind of shoved out of bounds and could not come back in to catch it as it's incomplete.
Yeah, not a bad play in the sense that Trinidad Chambliss, I think, was really looking for Tyrese the whole way. Tyrese got bumped out of bounds and couldn't reestablish himself back in. I think Trinidad was more just kind of throwing the ball away.
So Ferris State now here, the Bulldogs facing 2nd and 10 as the Bulldogs will move 2 receivers out to the right side of the formation. 2 back to the left here as Katzer is lined up right side of Chambliss in the gun. Play clock at 12 here for Ferris State as Trinidad will look back to the line of scrimmage. Down to 7 here as the Bulldogs will step backwards. Here comes Chambliss out of the gun with 3 on the play clock. Option pitch to Katzer here on the short side, and not enough room to run here on the near side. Picked up 3 or 4 yards, though. Good 3-yard gain here out to the 24.
Yeah, Bulldogs tried to run speed to the near side, but good job by Ashland to flow to the ball and not allowing any running lanes there for Katzer and not allowing any running lanes for Trinidad Chambliss. Good penetration right there. Bulldogs trying to get the block there as Brady Rose had a bigger guy on him he was trying to block.
So Ferris State right now will line up here on 3rd down and call it 6 yards to go at the 24. They need to get it out to the 30 to pick up the first down here and keep this drive going here for the Bulldogs. 3rd and long here as James Gilbert will move in motion, but we got a penalty flag, and I think it's going to be delay a game here against the Bulldogs unless they got the timeout.
5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
Walk it back another 5, so 3rd and 6 just became 3rd and 11.
So 3rd and long coming up a little bit longer here now for Ferris State on the penalty here against the Bulldogs. That's been kind of a point of emphasis here for Ferris State throughout fall camp, but a few penalties have hurt this Bulldog offense here tonight. Gilbert in motion, back to throw. Chambliss sets up the screen to Brady Rose. Rose gets it out to the 21, but that was it. As the Eagles made a nice play, and now a chance to get some field position here inside of a minute to go here in the first quarter.
Yeah, Bulldogs tried to run that screen to the short side and just couldn't create enough running lanes there for Brady.
So Ferris State to kick it away here, and we mentioned during the tailgate show and during the pregame show, Ethan Sossin, the Bulldog punter, out with an injury, so it looks like Middleton is going to do most of the kicking chores here tonight, at least here early on, as I think he comes on to punt here for the Bulldogs. They do have 2 back there, though. And it's going to be Middleton off the right side here. And it's a good kick here as he gets it into Eagle territory and finally takes an Ashland roll here out of bounds at the 42.
A little bit of a spinning tornado-style spin on that kick as it gets back, pushes Ashland at least back into their own territory.
Ferris State football live right here on the Bulldog Sports Network. Bulldog football presented by Rebacks. Thanks to Northwest Chiropractic, Lake Osceola State Bank, and Nutrition Force LLC, the official dietitian of Ferris State Athletics. Rob Bentley and Sandy Golston with you here tonight as the Bulldogs look to entertain the home fans. They lead at 14-3 here as we approach the end of our first quarter.
So Bulldogs definitely don't want to let up here as we try to close the first quarter solidly here. Let's see if this defense can continue to step up.
Defense will come out. Lambert at defensive end here on the near side for Ferris State as the Bulldogs are in that 5-man front. Baczynski working out of the shotgun set here for the Eagles again. Reverse back to the near side, and coming up to make the hit is Mike Edwards. Here is he got the initial contact. Lambert was there, and payout to help finish him off.
Boy, good read there by Mike Edwards, coming deep, driving hard in from the safety to come back and make the initial hit, and then Stanley Lambert coming in to finish it off.
2nd and 7 here after the 3-yard pickup for the Eagles. Trips left here for Ashland, and it looks like that'll do it for the first quarter of action. A hot start for the Bulldogs, and they lead it 14-3 after our opening quarter here at Top Tiger Field. We'll be back with the second quarter after the 60-second break right here on the Bulldogs Sports Network.
Together just might launch a t-shirt your way.
Somebody once said life moves pretty fast, and that's exactly how we like it. Want to build something? Great. Start businesses, build bridges, raise a whole city. Future in fighting crime? Want to save lives? Do it all here. But you've got to go forward fast. Because today is now, and tomorrow is soon. And to get ahead of the game, you got to get ahead of your time. This is your future, so take it and move all of us forward.
Welcome back, everyone, to Bulldog football coverage right here on the Bulldog Sports Network. Flow Sports and Sunny 97.3, along with Metro Flint News Talk Radio. Rob Bentley, Cindy Golston with you. Ferris State leads it 14-3. Great start for the Bulldogs here, but Ashland with possession of the football here on 2nd and 8 to start this second quarter of play. Baczynski going to keep it on the ground to Stevenson, and he's wrestled down here. Maybe got a yard at most here before that Bulldog front four wrestles him to the turf.
Yeah, good first quarter as you might expect for the Bulldogs. 118 yards of total offense. Ashland actually not bad. 81 yards of total offense in the first quarter. Unfortunately for Ashland, just 3 points to show for it.
So Ferris State now has forced Ashland into 3rd and long. Here as the Eagles picked up 3 points on their last offensive series, trying to add to their total here and cut into this Ferris State advantage here early on in this second period of play. Baczynski drops back here. The Bulldogs trying to pick it up here. They were looking across the middle and intercepted. Mike Edwards, we got a flag thrown. Edwards trying to get to the end zone on the pick six. Touchdown Bulldogs! But we wait to see what the flag is back in midfield.
Well, this will be very interesting to see what happens right here. Is the flag way back. I don't think it's going to affect the interception, but we'll see.
That one was across the middle. Payout was on coverage, and somehow Edwards ended up with it. Might have been tipped.
There was a tip.
And Edwards did pick it off, but what was the penalty flag? I saw Leno Smith back there on the back end as well, kind of where the flag was thrown, but that was after Edwards had intercepted it.
If it was before, they might be talking about pass interference, but if the ball was tipped, that negates pass interference.
We will wait and see here as the officials are talking about it. We do have replay, but they have yet to go to the tent. We'll wait and see.
I thought the flag was thrown after the interception, but that could have still been pass interference, but the ball was tipped.
Prior to the pass, holding.
And it was pass interference called against the Bulldogs.
So it was after the interception.
Automatic first down.
I'm thinking, wasn't it?
I do not know. Here is they are moving backwards, so that'll negate.
Well, that's not good.
The interception.
That takes away the interception. So
officials might have been saying the ball was not tipped. Kind of tough to see here. We've got.
Well, if it was holding, then I don't think it would have mattered if it was tipped or not. I think the Bulldogs were hoping for interference. The tip would have impacted that, but nonetheless, wipes away what would have been a fantastic play for Mike Edwards.
Did not hear the call from the official. I'm not sure he went to the official's mic. Nonetheless, here I believe the signal was defensive holding, so that'll put football here in Ferris State territory.
Bulldogs just got another unsportsmanlike.
Head coach Tony Anise upset here on the near sideline and a flag thrown right here. So
I think this crew just didn't do a good job of explaining this, or Bulldogs didn't like what they were hearing.
Not sure, at least from what we've heard, that they've explained it yet. As we
Exactly.
Did not hear,
after the
That's my
play,
point.
From the
unsportsmanlike conduct, Ferris State bench, 15-yard penalty.
Conduct here against Ferris State. So this is going to move the ball deeper. Ferris State had a pick six going the other way, and all of a sudden, with these two penalties, Ashland has it all the way down to the Ferris State 26-yard line.
Bulldogs are killing themselves with penalties right now. I get some of the frustration, but well, this is a killer right now, the penalties.
So Ferris State's defense is going to have to rise to the challenge again. They held Ashland to 81 yards of total offense in that first quarter. The Bulldogs in the first quarter had 4 penalties for 50 yards. They've just added 2 more here to start this second period of play. So Ashland will put Bazinski in the gun. He fakes the give, back to throw. 3 receivers in the formation, looking over the top to the end zone.
That's going to be another
and
penalty.
We got another penalty thrown here as they were trying to pick on Alston Ware, and they were looking again for Kroom running the outside route to the corner of the end zone.
Bulldogs are just racking up penalties right now.
We mentioned earlier kind of a point of emphasis throughout fall camp here for head coach Tony Anise and the Bulldogs, and they had done a pretty solid job through a couple of games.
Automatic first down.
We got a little discussion taking place between Sadov and the left tackle here for Ashland. Calmer heads will prevail on this one, as Ashland's going to have it all the way down to the Ferris State 16-yard line here. It'll be another first down and 10.
Yeah, Bulldogs defensively have got to regroup here, and you know they're playing tough, but unfortunately the penalties trying to stack up there. That was a hold right there potentially that didn't get called.
Stevenson ran out of bounds after a short gain. They might have got him 1 yard to the 15, but that'll be about it around the right side.
Yeah, Victor Nelson did a good job. He's deceptively fast, able to get out there, and maybe a little bit of a tug there, but still minimal gain for Ashland on that run play to the outside.
Call it 2nd and 9 here for the Eagles. See a lot of Mike Edwards back there in the defensive secondary for Ferris State tonight. Giassi Madison will come on along with Tyrone Fowler here on the defensive side for the Bulldogs, as they've played a number of guys already here on that defensive side here through 1 quarter and about a minute and a half here in this second period of play. 2nd and call it 9 here. Bazinski drops back, looking to throw again to the outside, and good coverage by the Bulldogs.
Blanket coverage there by Jason Williams.
Williams and Edwards from behind here, and that'll set up 3rd and long here for the Eagles, as the Bulldogs have been a team that's been able to hold the opponents to a lot of field goal tries here this season.
Yeah, they really have. We saw it right off the bat in that Pittsburgh State game, and that time great coverage there, as got a really good tight end right there running that pattern to the outside. Jason Williams right on him. Mike Edwards over the top.
Bulldogs have only given up 1 touchdown so far this year, and that, of course, came on a short field after a turnover. Bazinski back to throw. Hit as he throws. He unloads it, and incomplete. Was trying to find Henny in a high throw. He had the size on Justin Payout, but Payout made a nice defensive play.
Well, give Tyrone Fowler credit. Rob got in the backfield, put some pressure on Bazinski, maybe forced a pass that wasn't quite ideal and off the fingertips and incomplete. So Ashland going to line up for another field goal attempt.
So Geisler will try to take the points here for the Eagles as Rhodes will come on. 2-yard longer try this time from 32 yards as he works from the right side hash. Cook will hold again here for the Eagles. On special teams here for Ashland. Trying to close the gap to 14-6, has the distance. This kick is up and no good. The Bulldog defense is held. That kick no good, sells wide, and it keeps the score here at 14-3.
Well, that was interesting. It was like a hush fell over the stadium, both sides of the stadium there, and the officials finally signaled no good on the field goal attempt. So Ashland comes up empty despite the Bulldog penalties.
So Ferris State will come out here. A couple new slots out there on this series with Jeremiah Lee and Tariq Brett. Here for Ferris State head coach Tony Anise and the Bulldogs. Cats are in the offensive backfield. Underwood and Hunt Thompson are still the outside targets here for the Bulldogs. As Trinidad Chambliss has went the distance so far here at quarterback tonight for Ferris State. 13:08 to play in the second. A 14-3 lead here as Chambliss going to give it off to Katzer. Left side, gets an opening and gets it out close to the first down marker into the Eagles sideline. Going to be marked out here at about the 28.
Boy, great patient but yet fast running there by Kenan Katzer, getting to the outside on that far side going toward the Ashland bench, and really solid run right there.
Seen a marked improvement from the Nasty Boys up front here after that Pitt State game. Really dominated last week against Lake Erie and trying to seize control here at the line of scrimmage again.
They want to run that football, and that's going to mean they got to get a good surge, a good push up front.
Second and call it 2 here as Katzer picked up 8. He's lined up. Chambliss will keep it this time here on a little inside run here by the quarterback, and no gain on the play. So 3rd and short coming up here for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, had a pulling guard come across there, but give Ashland credit. They're able to push back on the left or right side of the Bulldog offensive line and hold him up here a little bit. Bulldogs are going to go heavy again.
So Pristula will come back on here for Ferris State as Lee will check out. Brett will shift over to the right side here in the slot for Ferris State as Chambliss looks over this Ashland defense. Eagles in a 4-man front, 4-2 look here for Ashland as they'll bring up the extra linebacker here. Little 4-3 package here as Katzer gets it in the middle, breaks a tackle, and he's got the first down. Out across the 35 to the 36. Gotta like the way he runs hard, protects the ball here in the offensive backfield.
Well, he is physical. He finds that hole, hits that hole hard, and really 2 hands on the football here as we watch Cannon Katzer again. Good surge right there, good crease created by the Bulldog offensive line.
Junior out of Spokane, Washington in his first season with the Bulldogs as Chambliss has him lined up left. Rose will come in motion here, Brady back to the outside. Katzer again this time, shifting right, bounces outside, finds a hole, hurdles a man, and gets it out to about the 46-yard line.
Well, he was sniffing a lot more right there, just could not quite maintain his balance there. Well, actually, they are going to give him first down yardage. I thought he might be a little bit short, but they gave him a first down.
We mentioned it here last week, but the Bulldogs have tried to use the running game, a traditional running game, a little bit more than maybe they have the last couple seasons.
Yes, they have. And I think that's by design with what they have in terms of running backs back there. A good group of running backs.
Katzer lined up left here as Chambliss drops back. Blitz coming. He picks it up, looking over the top. He's got a man. Underwood hauls it in at the 20 and out of bounds. Down inside the 15.
Boy, great job there by Trinidad getting that ball up there. And he knew that he had room, and he got that ball up there, Rob. Made sure that Cam Underwood was going to be able to come away with that football.
They brought the blitz, and Underwood makes some pay as he gets behind the Eagles secondary, makes a big reception for the Bulldogs all the way down inside the 20-yard line to the 14.
Well, I tell you, Trinidad took a shot, but he hung in there and delivered that football.
Katzer left side here of Chambliss as the Bulldogs line up here. Run blitz coming here is Katzer. No, on the fake, the Bulldogs throw it out to Amari O'Brien, spinning forward, and he's close to a first down, right down inside the 6-yard line.
Well, Bulldogs got a good play mix, but you could just see Trinidad Chambliss getting more and more comfortable with this Bulldog offense each week.
So call it second and about a yard here. The Bulldogs could pick up a first down. It's right at the 5, and we'll see what they elect to do here on second and short. Katzer to the right of Chambliss. In motion will come Amari O'Brien. Some movement.
Offsides. Maybe free play.
And the Bulldogs look into the end zone for Hunt Thompson.
Boy, that could have been pass interference. Tyrese Hunt Thompson looking back at the official in the corner, asking for interference.
We got a flag thrown right at the line of scrimmage, and was it against Ashland or not?
It's going to depend. I think both teams are pointing at each other, and it is going to be offsides.
So I think Tim Anderson kind of called it out for the official right there as he saw the man jump. Braden Childress will come on now, the Big Rapids native here. As the H-back, they come on with Pristula as well in the very heavy package on first and goal all the way down to the 2-yard line.
About as heavy as it gets for the Bulldogs here with all the tight ends.
Ferris State leads it 14-3, trying to stretch this advantage. And it will be a handoff to Katzer. Katzer avoids the first tackle, dives forward, touchdown Bulldogs!
Boy, great extension there by Katzer. Ashland furious. They feel like he was stopped short. And we got a flag.
Katzer finds the goal line here for the Bulldogs.
Got a flag after the play as well. I think Bob Anderson may have had a helmet ripped off.
20-3 our score here, and we'll await the flag here down on the field.
Well, the flag was after the touchdown, so something happened after the touchdown, I believe. But Ashland upset. They did not feel like Katzer got into the end zone.
Second effort got him there for the Bulldogs, at least according to the line judge.
Looks like it's against the. Looks like this is against the Bulldogs.
So we'll wait and see as head coach Tony Anise having a conversation with Bob Anderson down there on the Ferris State sideline. Anderson is without a helmet. Head coach Tony Anise is trying to point that out to the official.
I didn't get a chance to look at the replay, but Bob, I think, felt like he got a helmet ripped off and may have got caught for the retaliation. They're going to make the Bulldogs kick again.
Bob trying to get the guys fired up on the sideline. He's upset. Says Ferris State will look for the point after try. I'm not sure they moved it here, so maybe they waved away the flag. Middleton's kick is on the way, and it's no good. So it keeps it at 20-3.
I think they probably elected to take it on the kickoff.
You may be correct. So 20-3 our score here with 10-11 to play in the first half. Rare miss there from Middleton as the Bulldogs had to hurry with the extracurricular stuff that happened. The play clock, I believe, was kind of winding down.
Yeah, and that's that rush, that little bit of rush through that special teams playoff, so the Bulldogs will settle for a 20-3 lead. We'll be interested to see where this kickoff is. Ashland having a conversation with the umpire across the field, so Eagles have some concerns as well. Bulldogs had some concerns. Certainly a concern for the Bulldogs right now is cutting down on these penalties, because their defense is still holding up remarkably, even with the penalties.
Big thanks goes out to the Mecosta County Visitors Bureau, along with the Bulldog Party Store, Corwell Health, and Domino's for their support of Ferris State football and Bulldog athletics. Students down there in the south end zone. New student raffle taking place here tonight. If students hold out till the end of the third quarter, a chance to win $150 to the Bulldog Party Store, and that's going to be a new tradition here, trying to encourage some student interest here in Bulldog athletics.
That's going to be a lot of fun to see where that goes, and let's see where the Bulldogs are going to be kicking off from.
Of course, Ferris State has been on the road to Ashland. Beautiful facility, as we talked about during the tailgate show, but we'll have some changes here at Tom Taggart Field starting next fall with the addition of a new residence hall coming in here on the north end of the stadium, and some future plans here under President Bill Pink.
Yeah, it's going to be an exciting time in the years to come here with this stadium. What's not going to be exciting is Mitch Middleton going to have to test his leg right here. He's going to be kicking off from their own 20-yard line.
Had a little bit of a south wind earlier in the day. He's kicking to the south, but looks like the wind has kind of went away here. Flag pretty still down there in the south end zone. This one's going to spin and be fielded here by Riley Weiss here at the 15. Weiss has some speed on the return, and he's going to get it out near the 40-yard line on a solid return here for the Eagles.
The penalty hurts the Bulldogs in terms of field position. Ashland with a solid return as Mitch Middleton did about all you could do right there. Got a pretty good foot into it, but Ashland going to have good starting field position.
Ferris State soccer at home tomorrow. 1 o'clock start against the Eagles at the Bulldogs soccer field. Free admission to all youth wearing a soccer jersey or a Ferris State soccer camp t-shirt tomorrow for that contest. 25th anniversary celebration. The alumni were back today, had a soccer tailgate. They'll have one tomorrow as well, and one with a post-game reception. So big weekend for Bulldog soccer. Bozinski out of the gun here from the right side. First down and 10 here for the Eagles. Fakes the give to Stevenson. Looking outside. He's got a receiver, and he hauls it in.
Great grab.
Here at the Bulldog 40 as the catch was made here on the outside for Ashland by Ardoin, I believe, the receiver here for the Eagles.
Yeah, great job there. Did a pretty good job of protecting for Bozinski. Had his man targeted and threw the ball up, and boy, he went up, grabbed it, pulled it down, tucked it under, and protected that football.
Had to check the pronunciation. Kayafas are doing on the reception here for Ashland University. First down and 10 for the Eagles. Bozinski again here to the outside, looking right back at him, and this one incomplete here as Leno Smith was the man out in the flat trying to match up with him.
Well, they're trying to move quick, that is for sure.
So call it second and 10 here for the Eagles with 9:26 to play. In this first half, you're in tune to Bulldog football as Ashland will make some changes here, and they'll come back on here with Kroom. He's the speedy receiver here on the near sideline. Smith has kind of moved outside to the corner spot here for the Bulldogs in the defensive secondary. So saw Leno play a little bit of corner last year. Has kind of been one of the starting safeties, but they've moved him to the outside, and not sure we've seen Jacarvis Alexander return just yet for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, he got a little bit banged up earlier.
Bozinski to throw, and this one incomplete here. Good coverage by Alston Ware. And a little pressure coming from the inside by that defensive line.
Not sure where Bozinski was going with that. Bulldogs had the inside position right there, and Bulldogs are going to be the best person to get to that ball. Might have been trying to throw it away as the Bulldogs did get some pressure there in his face.
Bozinski, a big quarterback, 6'4", 260 out of Berea, Ohio. We saw plenty of him last year. Eagles jumped out to a big lead over Ferris State, 21-10 at the half, but the Bulldogs rallied back to win it 38-28 a year ago down in Ohio. Right now, 3rd and 10 here as Ferris State leads it 20-3 in this opening half of action. Give to Stevenson, trying to avoid first miss, and ends up picking up some positive yardage to the 39, but 4th down coming up. This could be 4-down territory, though.
Yeah, don't see a lot of movement from the sidelines right here. Bozinski has not necessarily been one to punt. Doesn't mean that he can't. Sio Saipaia going to check in, as will Victor Nelson up front. So Bulldogs looking to see if they can get a pass rush here.
Bulldogs going a little bit deeper on that defensive line as we see Marquis Jones come on here on the interior along with Sio Saipaia for Ferris State. His brother Sefa lined up right behind him at linebacker. Bazinski against the four-man rush. Hit as he throws and incomplete as Payout was back there on coverage intended for his receiver coming across the middle and incomplete. It'll be Ferris State taking over.
Bulldogs have done a better job of making Bazinski uncomfortable in the pocket. And even when they have not been able to get to him, they've been able to just kind of just keep him a little bit off balance there. And Trevor Bazinski is certainly a very, very good quarterback, but Bulldogs have to do a good job of continuing to make him uncomfortable in the pocket, even if they can't necessarily get to him with sacks.
He was looking for Isaiah Ramsey, just a freshman receiver, on that last play. Trinidad Chambliss back out there here for Ferris State. First down and 10 for the Bulldogs at their own 39. Chambliss the rollout, throws it, and hooks up with Tyrese Hunt-Thompson into Eagle territory on the short throw and the pickup to the 43.
Boy, just great job there on the RPO, hitting Tyrese Hunt-Thompson with a dart. If Tyrese gets away, he's running all the way to the student section.
So first down and 10 again here in Eagle territory. 8:18 to play in the first half. Ferris State looking to expand on a 20-3 advantage here against the Eagles. Chambliss drops back, four-man rush, looking outside, hauls in by Cam Underwood again here as he leans forward and gets it down. Another first down to the 28.
Well, Trinidad feeling comfortable with Cam Underwood. He's been able to get Cam involved. Trinidad had a couple of options right there. He had Tyrese Hunt-Thompson coming across the middle. He had Cam Underwood over there on the left side. Great read there by Trinidad.
Four receiver set here for the Bulldogs. In the slot, it's Lee on the near side and Tariq Brett on the far side. Cats are lined up right side here of Chambliss. First down and 10 here for Ferris State. Trinidad throws it outside again to Underwood. Underwood down inside the 20 and thrown forward out of bounds here at the 15.
Well, again, we talked about that brewing connection there between Chambliss and Underwood, and right there they hook up again.
Underwood has really came on and certainly can't focus all your attention on the outside on Tyrese Hunt-Thompson when you got a quality guy like Underwood, and we've certainly seen some of James Gilbert and some other guys as well.
Yeah, we talked about Cam Underwood, one of our guys that could be a surprise this season.
Here comes Brett in motion. Chambliss going to give it off to Katzer. He bounces right, leans forward, does such a good job of reading the blocks right there and gets it down to the 12-yard line.
Boy, he's got an ability to cut to in traffic and just a really solid running back. Bulldogs with a great stable of running backs.
So second down here for Ferris State. Call it about 7 yards to go. Ball at the 12 here for Ferris State in this blackout game. We're in the black uniforms with the red numerals and the gold trim here tonight at Top Taggart Field. Sun's still peeking out here just behind us here at the Wheeler Pavilion as Katzer lines up left. Chambliss in the gun will send a man in motion. It's Jeremiah Lee here for Ferris State. Back to throw. Trinidad finds Lee. Touchdown, Bulldogs!
Well, Jeremiah Lee and a dart thrown by Trinidad Chambliss and hits Jeremiah Lee right on the money. That has to feel good for JL. Zero with a big catch right there in the end zone.
What a performance so far from the Bulldogs. Trinidad Chambliss engineering this Ferris State offense, and he's looked sharp here this evening.
Yeah, he has looked really, really good. Bouncing back another week after that tough game against Pitt State.
Ferris State leads it 26-3 as the Bulldogs have jumped in front of the Eagles here at Top Taggart Field tonight. Extra point this time by Middleton is up and good. Make it 27-3 as the Bulldogs are in control here in the first half.
Bulldogs have looked good, and for the most part, they've looked good in all three phases. Did have a missed extra point. The only flaw really for the Bulldogs so far has been penalties, and if the Bulldogs can shape that up, they're going to be looking really good coming down the stretch of this game.
Ferris State football live tonight here in Big Rapids. Live video coverage provided by Ferris State Television on Flow Sports. Radio coverage here tonight on Sunny 97.3 along with Metro Flint News Talk Radio as well. Thanks to them for carrying all of our Bulldog football broadcasts here throughout the year and online coverage at FerrisStateBulldogs.com. Great work by the game day operations team here tonight. Another great atmosphere here for the Bulldogs. A lot of students here in the south end zone still for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, a lot of students have made their way in, and they got the memo about wearing black. A lot of students in black supporting and cheering on the Bulldogs, and with the offensive action we've seen and the great defense we've seen, they've had a lot to cheer.
Bulldog fans down below us wearing black as well. Of course, have some of those fans that will never stray from the red, but we do have a number of fans that got the memo wearing the black here tonight.
Yes, they did.
Ferris State to kick it away here as Middleton a little better field position to kick from this time. From the 35, as this one's going to be driven all the way into the end zone. Weiss is coming out on the return to the near sideline, and nowhere to go. Great play made downfield by the Bulldogs.
Yeah, probably.
As Ferris State had a couple guys down there inside the 20-yard line.
Yeah, probably not a wise decision right there. He was about 1 yard deep, and maybe the momentum was leading him forward, but the Bulldogs right down there in good coverage, and Ashland not quite able to pick up some of those early guys coming down there.
Another one of those guys we don't get to mention as much, Mervyn Jean-Pierre down there on coverage for Ferris State to make the initial hit. I think another guy that I see back in uniform tonight, Jeremiah Housey, who was injured in that Pitt State game. Looks like he's back in uniform as well this evening here for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, it's good to see some of those guys coming back, and Bulldogs would love to finish this one off, stay injury-free, and go into that bye week, giving guys a chance to recuperate, get better.
Out of the gun, Bazinski will set it up here for the Eagles from the left side. Has got a stoppage here down the field, and it's going to be delay a game here against
penalty,
Ashland.
First down.
Good.
That came here on the first offensive snap, so not sure they just didn't recognize it or what happened, but in any case, the clock was at zeros, and they're going to be pushed back inside their own 10. So call it 1st and 15 here from the 9 here for Ashland, as Bazinski will stand in the gun. 2 in the offensive backfield with him as he rolls out right side. Looking upfield here as he is going to be thrown for a loss all the way back at the 4-yard line. Great pursuit by the Bulldogs to the football. You mentioned Cepha right there.
Jason Williams as well in on that.
I think Jake Plamondon was out there, one of the defensive linemen as well here for the Bulldogs.
Boy, just some great pursuit right there. Bazinski trying to roll out of the pocket, trying to run away from the pressure. Cepha right there. And looked like, Jason Williams right there on that as well.
Stanley Lambert will check out as Madison will come back on here. Kind of the strong safety here in the Bulldog defense.
If you're Ashland, Rob, you got
second and long.
You got to be very careful here if you're Ashland.
2nd and 16 with the ball at the Ferris State, or the Ashland rather, 3-yard line. Bazinski in the end zone, throws it short, hauled in, no! Incomplete as
Grab
Austin
it just in
Ware.
case. There you go. It's incomplete, but you never know.
They were looking for Ramsey again, and Ware was right there, forced the drop, and it's 3rd and long.
So Bulldogs going to come in with some pass rush personnel. Bulldogs do want to be careful, though. Sometimes teams will get into that goal line defense, and then they get past that first layer, and they could be off to the races. So we'll see what Ashland elects to come up with right here. If they elect to play a conservative, maybe run a draw, or if they try to be aggressive.
Bazinski is standing in his own end zone with a man to the left. Trips left here. 4 receiver set. Williams showing blitz maybe from the outside here for the Bulldogs.
Draw.
They'll send Saipa Ia.
They got him!
Instead, he's stopped for a loss in the end zone.
Safety.
I believe, and it's going to be a safety here as the Bulldog defense picks up some points.
Rob, they read the draw. They read the delayed draw. We talked about that was a possibility. If they play a conservative and run a draw, they might say, hey, let's just play a conservative. Unfortunately, Bulldogs right there ate that play up.
They were showing blitz from the outside with Williams, but he backed away. Saipa Ia came up the middle, and he made the play for the Bulldogs. Had some help, and Ferris State has picked up 2 points to make it 29-3. And we'll get the football back here with pretty good field position.
Rob, they made that. They got that safety about 2 yards deep into the end zone. I mean, that was not even close to them getting to the goal line.
That drive went the wrong way for the Eagles, and been that kind of a first half here for the most part for Ashland University here tonight. This Eagle team, a very young team, and trying to get it going here against a Ferris State team that looks here tonight like it is one of the top 10 teams in the country.
Well, I think what Ashland is seeing right now is how tough this Bulldog defense is. Even when Ashland's had opportunities through Bulldog mistakes, turnovers, or penalties, they have not been able to really capitalize on that. And this Bulldog defense, Rob, just seems to be gaining energy as this game goes along.
So Ferris State in control here tonight against the Eagles at Top Taggart Field. It was a close one last year in Ohio. The Bulldogs won it 38-28, but took the full distance for Ferris State to pull out that win. Here tonight, the Bulldogs have really stepped up here in this first half of play.
Yeah, the Bulldogs have looked sharp. They have looked Lake Erie College sharp here in this game so far.
So the Bulldogs will get set to return here as they've got Looks like a special teams unit out there here.
So looks like Ashland's going to use their free kick to just traditionally kick it off.
So they will line up here. They'll have to kick off from the 20. 2 back for the Bulldogs in Tariq Brett and Cannon Katzer, standing back at their own 15-yard line here with 5:30 to play in the first half. So we await the kick here from the Eagles, as Rhodes will kick it away here for Ashland from right to left as we look down from the Wheeler Pavilion over toward the Eagles sideline across the field from us. Rhodes taking his time here. Play clock winding. He gets it away. It's down the near side. Brett's going to have a chance here on the return from his own 14-yard line here for the Bulldogs. He's got a hole. He hits the hole, but closes down. And the Bulldogs will start at their own 36-yard line.
Boy, he was coming out of there with speed. Good job there by Ashland to get down there, close up those lanes, and make a nice tackle.
So out will come the Ferris State offense as the Bulldogs will get the football once more here in this first half at the very least with a 29-3 advantage. Chambliss still on at quarterback as the Bulldogs still have that offensive unit out there here, at least in terms of the key personnel on the 2-deep. Chambliss has a man left side here. I think that's King out there here in the offensive backfield next to him here for the Bulldogs. They'll motion a man out. Chambliss to throw. And this one might have been batted down at the line of scrimmage as he was trying to hook up with Tyrese Thompson.
Yeah, it looked like that ball was tipped or just kind of or came out of his hand not very well, but good job nonetheless by Ashland to get those hands up there, clog that passing lane.
They were sending Brady Rose deep, like what I've seen out of him here tonight. I saw him in a boot earlier in the week, and he's the guy running the deep route right there on that last play for the Bulldogs. A little throw here on the near side, and a tackle broken here by Tyrese Thompson, and out of bounds. Where did he step out? It's going to be very close to a first down here at the Bulldog 46.
Yeah, it looks like linesman going to mark him about a yard short there as he was trying to get to and past that first down marker. So it's going to be 3rd and 1.
So 3rd and 1 coming up here for Ferris State. 4 receiver set. Trips right here on the short side. Chambliss with King next to him. Quick throw here to the outside to Rose, and he's got the first down. Horse collar, perhaps. Did not see a flag as he's kind of moved out of bounds here at the Eagle 46.
Yeah, fans upset, but no yellow laundry left on the field, so we'll play on.
So 1st down and 10 here as the Bulldogs move the chains into Eagle territory. 4:49 to play here in half number 1. A 29-3 Ferris State lead as the Eagles trying to get some new personnel out there here defensively. Off the right side, Chambliss with King left side. 4 receivers here in the formation. Back to throw. Trinidad against the 5-man rush. Looking over the top, and that one incomplete. Hunt Thompson was, I think, running the route back inside, and he threw it to the outside.
Yeah, well, maybe a little miscommunication there as that ball went long. Fortunately, it went well long, so nobody was going to get to it.
So 2nd and 10 here as the Bulldogs might have had Tyrese if they had hooked up on that connection. He had a step back inside.
Yeah, if that ball was if that ball's inside and then Tyrese is running toward the Bulldog.
Plenty of time left in this first half here for Ferris State with 4:31 remaining. 2nd and 10, though, here for the Bulldogs from the Eagle 44. As Chambliss surveys the landscape here for the Bulldog offense. Inside give to Markel King. He's got a nice hole here and gets it down inside the 40 to about the 38-yard line here. So this will set up 3rd and short. What could be a 4-down situation here for Ferris State.
Good run there by King to keep the Ashland defense honest. Bulldogs are going to go quickly back to the line of scrimmage here. Ashland trying to make a late change.
They will get the change here as Rose moves back in motion here for Ferris State. Trinidad now will take his time and look back to the sideline. Plenty of time on the play clock here for Ferris State.
Trying to lock Ashland into the personnel that they had on the field.
So Chambliss with Rose back, moving to the short side. Some movement up front. Free play, perhaps? No, it's going to be blown dead.
It's still offsides, but, yeah, that's interesting that they didn't let it go. Maybe they felt like they had too much of a run.
Defense number 99, unabated to the quarterback.
Free play right there, but this penalty is going to work against Ashland.
That's the first down.
I don't think the Ashland coaching staff is too pleased over there on that far side.
It's a free first down. They cannot be happy about that.
Bulldogs will make some changes up front as the 2 Andersons check out here on the left side of the Bulldog offensive line.
Well, that if you're Ashland coaches, that hurts. I mean, you got them 3rd down and 4, and you give up a 5-yard penalty on an offsides.
Down to the 33. It'll be 1st and 10 here for Ferris State. 3:38 remaining here in half number 1 for Chambliss. 29-3. Ferris State leads it. Trinidad back to throw. and hit hard as he tries to throw it. One of the linemen picked it up here for the Bulldogs, and Ferris State's going to get some yardage here as it was picked up by big Bryce George, former tight end turned All-American offensive tackle for the Bulldogs, and he gets some good yardage.
I'm relying on my Ferris State TV family to let us see that again. That was one of the craziest plays we've seen. Heads up there by big Bryce George, able to pick that one up, and heads up play because almost everybody else on the field froze.
He gained, I think, about looks like 7 or 8 yards there on that pickup here for the Bulldogs. Chambliss will give it off to King again. Pyle moving him forward and going to be close to a first down. The Bulldogs will get it to the 25. Fortunately, Trinidad Chambliss got back up as he was hit hard. Might have fumbled the football. I'm not entirely sure what happened.
I think he did. He got hit hard, but kind of a clean hit in the back and coughed up the ball, but Bulldogs got it back.
Nice little rollout throw here to Brady Rose, and he's going to have the first down, I believe, here on the spot to the 22. So got just enough yardage to move the chains again. Bryce George, guy that was a tight end when he first came to Ferris State, has not only been a tight end, but he was a pretty good basketball player on the high school level and has since become one of the top offensive linemen in the country here for the Bulldogs.
Boy, he is a good one for the Bulldogs.
Ferris State first down and 10 here from the 22. Here comes Rose in motion,
Offsides.
some movement again. This time play will continue. Looking for Hunt Thompson and broke it up. And actually Tyrese kind of became the defender right there as it was thrown a little bit inside.
Yeah, great job there by Tyrese Hunt Thompson to recognize it, even though the
Offsides.
Bulldogs did have a free
Defense
play.
number 94. 5-yard penalty.
His,
Still first down.
defensive back
It's a 2-minute timeout.
As Bulldogs are huddling on the sideline here, and we got a.
Attention students.
Looks like we got the
timeout
2-minute
was.
timeout
2-minute timeout.
here with 1:58 to go in the first half. Ferris State still plenty of time. They'll pick up 5 yards here. It'll be first and 5 from about the 17 when we resume action.
You know, Rob, Brady Rose has been a big factor in this game, and we remember he was questionable earlier in this week about whether he was going to play, and Brady does so much for the Bulldogs, obviously offensively with his ability to catch the ball, his ability to run the ball. He's a holder in special teams. He's sometimes a return man, and having him back in the lineup is really big for the Bulldogs, and so Bulldogs trying to get some of those injured guys back in the lineup.
Heard Coach Anise talking with him the other day in the hallway. He said, if you could go on Saturday, we'll play you. Coach Anise likes to give these guys every opportunity to take the field, and certainly Rose one of those guys that he wants to be out here if he can.
And he's going to make a good decision. He's going to make the right decision. He wants to get out there and he wants to compete, but he wants to make sure that he's going to be able to help his team be successful.
Ferris State playing tonight minus Carson Gulker, but nice to see him back up and on the road to recovery. We mentioned Connor Neer out of the lineup here tonight, along with Ethan Sasson. Bulldogs probably missing another guy or two somewhere in there as well, but it's kind of been that next guy up, and the Bulldogs have done a great job here in the first half.
Yeah, they have. They have played some inspired football here.
Ferris State leads at 29-3, trying to add some more points here in half number 1 with 1:58 remaining. First and 5 here from the 17. O'Brien in motion. It'll be Chambliss on the keeper up the middle. Trinidad, he's got the first down here down near the 11-yard line here for the Bulldogs.
The Bulldogs have been pretty selective in how they've run Trinidad Chambliss so far, and at times he was able to run right there on the RPO, fake it on the sweep, and a nice job of avoiding any big hits.
He's going to have a week to recover with the bye week next week. The Bulldogs will be a heavy favorite going to both American and International, coming back home against Roosevelt. So certainly want to take every precaution if possible with the junior quarterback. In motion goes O'Brien, but Chambliss is going to keep it again, and he kind of slips and falls. Nowhere to go here as he was trying to make a man miss. He'll lose some yardage.
Numbers were probably not in his favor right there. And actually probably wasn't the worst thing in the world that happened.
So second and call it 12 to go here for the Bulldogs. Ferris State here in this first half, according to our scoreboard, still 3 timeouts remaining. Short little throw to Rose on the outside, kind of falling backwards. Hauls it in, and the Bulldogs will maybe gain a yard, but we got a flag on the opposite side. Got 2 flags over there on the far side. One right at the line of scrimmage, one a little bit further downfield.
I'm wondering if the one at the line of scrimmage came
illegal
late.
Substitution.
Like a hold
Defense.
5-yard
penalty. So second down.
First one, looks like both of them actually going to be against Ashland, so the Eagles not helping their own cause here again with 1:09 to play in the first half.
Well, it's ironic because it seems like the penalty problem has shifted now over to the Eagles side because the Bulldogs are collecting the penalties early, and now all of a sudden Ashland is not playing as clean a football as you would expect.
Ferris State can pick up a first down at about the 2-yard line. It'll be second down here and about 8 yards to go. The Bulldogs will give it off to Markel King. King fighting forward here and gets it down near the 7. So 3 timeouts here for the Bulldogs according to our scoreboard. I thought they did use one earlier. They may have 2 timeouts remaining.
I think they have 2 timeouts left. They did. Oh, yeah, they did use one earlier.
Nonetheless, here in no hurry right now, 48 seconds and counting here for the Bulldogs.
They don't want to leave any time for Ashland, if at all possible. They'd like to finish this drive with a touchdown and leave very little time for Ashland. They'll probably consider using a timeout after this play, depending on what happens.
3rd and 7 here with 35 seconds to go. Chambliss in the gun with Cancer now back on. Here to his left. Rose moves back left side. Here for the Bulldogs. Trinidad rolls out left side. He's got a lot of real estate. Trying to outrun the Eagles. Touchdown Bulldogs!
Touchdown,
Boy, they had the
Bulldogs.
entire offensive line flowing to the right, the defensive line flowing to the same area, and Trinidad had nothing but room right there as only him and the inflated Bulldog in the corner.
Ferris State, 22 seconds to go before halftime, has taken a 35-3 lead here over the Eagles and playing some great football right where they left off last week against Lake Erie.
Yeah, just brilliant football offensively and just continuing to shut down defensively. And they seem to have cleaned up a little bit on some of the penalties that they were getting earlier.
On for the point after. Extra point by Middleton is up, and it is good off the hold from Rose. That puts it at 36-3 here as we approach halftime tonight at Top Tiger Field. And I know Coach Anise mentioned it earlier in the week. He remembers his very first home game here at Ferris State was against an Ashland team, and he said earlier in the week that, oh my gosh, this is what the competition's going to be like, because Ashland was such a dominant team and played so well that night, but the Bulldogs have kind of flipped the script on them here in what's been more than a decade later.
Well, that Ashland team certainly left an impression on Coach Anise early in his Division II coaching career. Of course, Coach Anise has been successful at every level that he's been at, and he's brought that energy, that success to this Ferris State program. And, boy, we just couldn't be happier to have Coach Anise right here leading this program.
Of course, the Bulldogs held to 3 points against Pittsburgh State. We had some questions as to when the last time that happened was. It was back in 2017 when Ferris State had to make the trip to Ashland, Ohio, and the Bulldogs putting in a first-time quarterback in Travis Russell after the injury to Reggie Bell. Really could not get it going that night. That was the last time it had happened before the game against Pittsburgh State, when the Bulldogs did much the same with a guy like Trinidad Chambliss, who had taken some snaps last year but was kind of thrown into a different position.
Yeah, he really was, and it's a struggle, you know, when you're putting in a new quarterback against a veteran, very talented team, and Bulldogs right now are kind of reaping the rewards now of those lessons learned right here, because they are playing really well right now.
Ashland on the return, nothing doing here to the 36 here with 17 seconds left in the first half, as the Bulldog defense will come out and try to hold the Eagles to 3 here in the opening half. Travis Russell, a guy that became a pretty good quarterback here for the Bulldogs, and we've already seen Chambliss make some great progress from week 0 to week 1 to week 2 now.
Yeah, he's looking like he's going to be a good one in the future. He's orchestrated this Bulldog offense that has 304 yards of total offense. Defensively, they've held Ashland to 97 yards so far in this game.
Sadov will come back out here on the defensive line for the Bulldogs. Jalen Jones will check on as well here in the defensive secondary for Ferris State. As Bazinski going to keep it on the ground here. Short carry here as the Eagles probably going to be content to
that'll do it.
Get out of here at halftime, trailing 36-3.
Yeah, Bulldogs were in a 2 deep over the top, and Ashland saying, hey, we don't want to make a mistake right here, and so they'll head to the locker room right now. Ashland will head off first, and Bulldogs will be not too far behind.
That'll do it for our first half of action. Ferris State dominates the first half here against the Eagles, as the Bulldogs have taken a 36-3 lead here over Ashland at halftime.
Yeah, just absolute dominating performance by the Bulldogs in the first half, left no doubt.
Well, we'll take a 2-minute timeout, back with more halftime coverage after this break on the Bulldog Sports Network. Sunny 97.3 Flow Sports, and of course on Metro Flint News Talk Radio, back after this break.
Want to be a storyteller? The television and digital media production program at Ferris State University is the create space for you. At Ferris, you will apply creative and technical skills to create stories worth telling. You will be immersed in your learning. You will practice every part of the production process. You will create in state-of-the-art facilities with the latest equipment and software. The TDMP program at Ferris State. Learn to make storytelling your career. Find out more at ferris.edu/TDMP.
Are you seeking applied learning opportunities that will prepare you for your future? Classes taught by experienced faculty? Do you want internship opportunities that will launch your career? Then the College of Business at Ferris State University is where you belong. With 23 accredited programs and 122 degrees, you can advance your knowledge in unique majors such as esports production, music and entertainment business, and hospitality. Experience excellent placement rates and become a career-ready graduate. Start your journey today at ferris.edu/business.
Are you ready to advance your career and move to the next level?
The master's program definitely helped me get my job.
A lot of people have a bachelor's degree, but not very many people have a master's degree.
Every day I use something that I learned through the master's program.
The Master of Science in Criminal Justice Administration at Ferris State is a 30-credit program led by faculty with relevant and practical experience. Earn your master's degree in less than a year and from anywhere. Move your career forward. Ferris forward. Apply today at ferris.edu.
We're on to halftime coverage of Ferris State football. Rob Bentley and Sandy Golston with you here at the break, where Ferris State leads it 36-3 at halftime. The Ferris State dance team out on the field right now as Bulldogs will honor some of the soccer alumni and current team members here celebrating their 25th anniversary of Bulldog soccer this weekend, coming up as part of our halftime activities here at Top Tiger Field. But right now the Bulldog fans delighted by the performance here tonight. 304 yards of total offense for the Bulldogs, with Trinidad Chambliss engineering the attack, 14 of 18 for 200 yards and a score. He's also ran for 2 touchdowns here for the Bulldogs.
Well, he has been remarkable in this game, efficient. He has thrown pretty much every pass, and he's thrown them pretty well. And it's just really great to see him continuing to grow and to accept and handle the pressure that he now feels in terms of being that guy at quarterback, and, where he was sharing those responsibilities early with Carson Goker before the injury, but he is really responsible.
He's hooked up 3 times with Cam Underwood. Underwood has 3 grabs for 68 yards. Tyrese Hunt-Thompson, 3 grabs for 38 yards, and Brady Rose has 3 catches for 16 yards for the Bulldogs. Markel King, 6 carries for 47 yards to lead the Bulldogs on the ground. Katzer has 8 carries for 43 yards and a touchdown here for Ferris State. You flip the side to the defensive end, where the Bulldogs have given up just 101 yards of total offense. Wazinski, 6 of 18 for 88 yards, was intercepted once. But on the ground, Ashland, 16 carries for 13 yards.
Yeah, and that cannot happen for Ashland. We talked about Ashland. They wanted to run that football, and early on they were committed to it, and it was kind of going okay early, but then the Bulldogs really clamped down, and since then it has been tough sledding trying to run that football for the Ashland Eagles.
The Eagles just 2 of 8 on 3rd down, 0 of 1 on 4th down. Ferris State, meanwhile, 6 of 8 on 3rd down. The Bulldogs have been able to convert. They've been in the red zone 4 times, and they've scored all 4 times.
Yeah, and that's what you love to see, efficiency. Get yourself in positions to be able to score, and then when you get there, finish off those drives. And not only did they finish off those drives, Rob, they finished them off getting into the end zone a lot.
As we recap the first half scoring summary for Ferris State, it started quickly. 13 seconds in, Tyreek Brett takes the opening kick 90 yards back to the house for a score, and the Bulldogs had an early 7-0 lead. The first offensive series, the Bulldogs drive 75 yards in 8 plays. Chambliss with the 1-yard touchdown run made it 14-0. Ashland got its only points, aided by a couple Bulldog penalties. 4:29 to play in the first. A 30-yard field goal from Rhodes cut the deficit to 14-3, but all Bulldogs in the second quarter. Katzer caps a 7-play, 80-yard drive with a 2-yard touchdown run to make it 20-3, and then Chambliss later finds Jeremiah Lee on a 12-yard touchdown reception to finish off a 5-play, 61-yard Bulldog drive. That increased it to 27-3. The Bulldogs stopped the Eagles in the end zone for a safety, and then on the ensuing possession, Ferris State drives 12 plays, 63 yards, took 5 minutes and 3 seconds, and Chambliss caps it with a 7-yard run to end the first half to make it 36-3.
Yeah, just efficiency from the Bulldogs, and at both ends of the field, special teams, just really, you could not have scripted a much better first half of the Bulldogs.
Bulldogs honoring the Ferris State soccer alumni, current team members down on the field with head coach Greg Hinson, athletic director Steve Brocklebank down there to greet them here at halftime as they'll get the traditional photo from our team of photographers down there on the sideline. Luke Wyckoff and company down there here tonight at Top Taggart Field, and we'll talk more about the 25th anniversary celebration coming up in our next segment, but great to see so many of those alums back here this weekend.
Yeah, it is really great to see, and so many of those alums remain connected to the program and have for years, and it's really great to see how much pride they continue to take in this program.
We'll take a 2-minute timeout. Back to talk more about Bulldog athletics and what's going on after this break right here on the Bulldog Sports Network.
It's not easy being an athlete. At Ferris, we do things others will not. We push boundaries. We get up when we fall, again and again. We put in long hours. We don't quit. We do what it takes. That is why we are champions.
The GLIAC is the Conference of Champions. Since its inception in 1972, GLIAC teams have won 53 national championships and countless more individual championships.
Throughout the GLIAC, passionate fans come support our athletes in 21 NCAA-sponsored sports.
Just as important as being champions on the field.
The pool.
The court. The course.
The track.
GLIAC student athletes are champions in the classroom and the community.
The GLIAC is.
The GLIAC is.
The GLIAC is.
The Conference of Champions.
Back, everyone, to halftime coverage of Ferris State football live right here on the Bulldog Sports Network. Rob Bentley and Sandy Golston with you as the Bulldog band plays. We've got the side-by-side event taking place as a number of high school band members came on to play alongside the Ferris State band today. Great new tradition here thanks to our pep band here at Ferris State, which has grown considerably this year, and we expect it to grow even bigger next year with the addition of the marching band.
Yeah, Dr. Atwood's done a great job of, really building a marching band from scratch, and he's done a great job of reaching out to the local high schools and getting them to buy in on this partnership and the opportunities to be a member of this future Ferris State marching band. And I think we're getting a feel, Rob, for what it's going to be like. They got a pretty good group down there, and that's a greater feel of what it's going to be like for Ferris State home events where the band is playing.
Ferris State, of course, announcing the addition on Friday of a new stunt program to go along with an increased cheer team, as Carmela Harris has been hired as the new head coach for the 18th varsity sport here at Ferris State starting next fall.
Yeah, that's going to be exciting, and cheer is a great element to your athletic program, as well as we work increasingly hard toward building an athletic program in all corners of athletic success, and being able to build up cheer, being able to bring stunt, And then also we talked about the marching band just a little bit ago. That's going to be fantastic. And then as we continue to make renovations to future renovations to the stadium, it's just going to really add to the atmosphere around Bulldog football.
Ferris State football live tonight right here on Flow Sports and, of course, on the Bulldog Sports Network. And a busy week here again in Ferris State Athletics. Bulldog volleyball got a big win earlier in the day. Take it on Harding as we speak. We'll try to get a scoring update on that one from down in Huntsville, Alabama. Bulldog soccer, of course, yesterday tied Findlay by a final score of 0-0. The Bulldogs will be back in action here tomorrow as they take on Ashland, celebrating the 25th anniversary of Bulldog soccer. We just saw the soccer alums honored here at halftime. They'll honor them again tomorrow at halftime of the soccer game just to the south of us at the Bulldog Soccer Complex. And Ferris State Soccer, of course, looking to bounce back after maybe not the finish they wanted a year ago. And Coach Henson's got a nice squad here with some experience and a couple new freshmen that have really added into the mix.
Yeah, I think that's really exciting to continue to build and add pieces to the puzzle. It's just a really exciting thing, and Coach Henson just continues to add pieces to the puzzle and just continues to keep this thing going.
Ferris State women's tennis in action today down in Allendale as they start the ITA Midwest Regional Championships under head coach Mark Doran. The Bulldog women's golf team will be in action in Allendale tomorrow as they take part in the Folds of Honor qualifier on the campus at Grand Valley State University. And the Bulldog men's golf team, meanwhile, will be in action here at home at Khaki Golf Course on Monday and Tuesday, hosting the Bulldog Fall Invitational. And I've had a chance to get out to a number of high school tournaments with my daughter at Khaki Golf Course. Of course, always in great shape and should be well prepared for a great men's tournament coming up this week.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting. Anytime you get a chance to showcase Khaki Golf Course, and of course, that we take so much pride in. Our PGA Golf Management Program takes so much pride in, and is a course that's very well respected. In its 50th anniversary, it's just a great time to be out there.
Ferris State action going on. And, of course, don't forget Bulldog hockey right around the corner as Ferris State will take part in CCHA Media Day, a virtual event coming up on Tuesday. Season opener has been moved to Friday, October 4th, part of homecoming weekend against the Miami Redhawks. They'll play a Friday-Saturday series. Of course, in between those two hockey games, we've got Bulldog volleyball going on, their first home weekend. And, of course, Ferris State football, next home game against Roosevelt on homecoming.
Yeah, just lots of things going on, and homecoming is always special, and we're just excited about that. And the number of teams that are going to be, of course, participating in it just makes it even more fun. But always a great time to be on campus. Get your tickets early, make your hotel arrangements early. If you haven't, you can still give it a try, and we'd love to see you.
We'll take a 2-minute timeout, back to take a look at the GLIAC scoreboard and more when we return right here on the Bulldog Sports Network.
Somebody once said life moves pretty fast, and that's exactly how we like it. Want to build something? Great. Start businesses, build bridges, raise a whole city. Future in fighting crime? Want to save lives? Do it all here. But you've got to go forward fast. Because today is now, and tomorrow is soon. And to get ahead of the game, you got to get ahead of your time. This is your future, so take it and move all of us forward.
At Ferris State University, we value collaboration, working together towards greatness. Diversity, embracing our differences for better understanding. Community, building engaging campus experiences. Excellence, inside and outside the classroom. Opportunity, you can make your dreams a reality. Move forward, Ferris forward.
Are you ready to advance your career and move to the next level?
The master's program definitely helped me get my job.
A lot of people have a bachelor's degree, but not very many people have a master's degree.
Every day I use something that I learned through the master's program.
The Master of Science in Criminal Justice Administration at Ferris State is a 30-credit program led by faculty with relevant and practical experience. Earn your master's degree in less than a year and from anywhere. Move your career forward. Ferris forward. Apply today at ferris.edu.
Back, everyone, to Ferris State football coverage right here on the Bulldogs Sports Network. Rob Bentley and Sandy Golston with you, an extended performance by the Ferris State Pep Band and some of the high school band students here tonight for this side-by-side event. As some of the Bulldogs start to make their way back out of the locker room. Still 10 minutes to go here in halftime. Ferris State all over Ashland by a score of 36-3. Let's go to the GLIAC scoreboard and check the scores from today in GLIAC football action. Going around the conference here earlier today, it was Michigan Tech getting a big win by a score of 21-6 over Hillsdale. That game played up in Houghton, Michigan, as they beat former GLIAC member in the Chargers. Davenport goes on the road, and Sparky McEwen and company get a 17-14 win at Bowie State in Maryland. Northwood knocks off Saginaw Valley State and takes the Axe back in the Axe Bowl, 10-7 the final score in that ball game. Finley dominates Wayne State. Final score a little bit closer than maybe it was earlier, 42-30 the final in Detroit. Roosevelt falls to Wisconsin Whitewater 24-14. Wisconsin Lacrosse knocks off Northern Michigan 35-21. And about 25 minutes or so away from kickoff out in Pueblo, Colorado, Grand Valley State will take on Colorado State Pueblo, and that could be an interesting matchup. Colorado State, a very prolific passing offense here early in the year.
Yeah, and I think there were some question marks about Pueblo and maybe how they were going to be this year, but they got off to a good start, and I think that propelled them into the top 25. So a top 25 matchup out in Pueblo, Colorado should be a good one.
Of course, last year Pueblo gave Grand Valley all it could handle down at Lubbers Stadium early in the season, and you know that probably sticks a little bit in the back of the minds of the Lakers.
Yeah, I think it definitely does. I mean, you know, we've been on that both sides of that coin as well, and when you have that tight game, it gives you sometimes a little extra motivation, but also can put some question marks in there. So now you got to go on the road and play in a tough environment, and it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out there in Colorado.
Of course, we'll move on around the country here on our D2Football.com scoreboard, and this will be the first game we've had this season without a guest from D2Football.com up in the booth.
It was bound to happen.
Of course, had a couple of them in Matt Witwicki and Chuck Bittner in week 0 down at Pittsburgh State. Had Tony Nicolette, the GLIAC columnist, last week on the air with us here at halftime. Going around the country, though, Kutztown, number 9 in the country, defeats Edinburgh 26-0, the final score in that ball game. Number 11, Slippery Rock, knocks off Shepherd 20-10, the final score in that ball game. Westchester falls to Cal PA, California, Pennsylvania, 38-28, the final score in that contest. Other action going on around the country as we get to some of the important scores. Lenore-Rhine, number 13, all over Tiffin, 38-17, the final score is Lenore-Rhine starting to roll along here early in the year. We mentioned Northwood over at Saginaw Valley, 10-7 in the Axe Bowl. Shippensburg defeats Clarion 24-21 as many of the rest of the Bulldogs come out of the locker room. Frostburg State put up 57 today in a win over West Liberty, 57-23. The final score in that ball game, Sioux Falls defeats Mary 35-33. South Dakota State Mines gets a win over Upper Iowa 17-10. Other games going on, Colorado Mines, number 6 in the nation, defeats Washburn in a tight one, 31-28, the final score in that ball game. Lake Erie, the team the Bulldogs played last week, they get a win today over Post by a score of 28-27, so the Storm bounced back in a big way.
Wow, that's a big one for them.
Bemidji State, number 23, shuts out Southwest Minnesota 33-0. Central Washington, number 10, defeats Colorado Mesa on the road 28-12. Other games, Minnesota Duluth, the number 20 team in the nation, falls to Minnesota State Moorhead 30-29. The final score in that contest. Number 12, Delta State falls today as Wingate beats them 21-7 in an upset.
Well, that's 2 games I don't think very many people had.
Other matchups here on a busy day here around the country at halftime. Truman State trailing Indianapolis. The Greyhounds ranked 15th. They lead at 31-17 in Indy. Indiana, Pennsylvania, the team that beat Ashland last week, they lead Lock Haven at halftime 14-7 in Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference action. Also here at halftime, Ohio Dominican trails Winston-Salem 10-0 in that ball game. Henderson State, number 19, no score against Southeastern Oklahoma as of yet. And it looks like many of the other games are later starts. You got Northwest Missouri trying to win their first game of the year. They take on Fort Hays, which is number 21 in the nation.
That's a tough one. That's going to be a tough one to
here
get right
this
there.
Evening. Bearcats, I believe, do have them at home, though, so that's maybe a positive sign for Northwest Missouri. Valdosta State, the number 5 team in the nation, taking on Fayetteville State. No score in the first in that contest. Number 7 Minnesota State tied up with Wayne State of Nebraska 7-7 early on. And we mentioned the Grand Valley Colorado State Pueblo matchup. And the final matchup involving a ranked team, Pittsburgh State, tonight will play host to Emporia State, a big game in the MIAA.
Yeah, that could be an interesting one there. Pittsburgh State and Emporia State. Pittsburgh State obviously looks very, very good to begin this season. Emporia State is a team that's been on some people's radar here on the national scale, so we'll see how that game plays out.
At halftime here in Big Rapids, 36-3, the Bulldogs lead the Eagles. We'll be back with the second half after this 2-minute timeout right here on the Bulldog Sports Network.
Somebody once said life moves pretty fast, and that's exactly how we like it. Want to build something? Great. Start businesses, build bridges, raise a whole city. Future in fighting crime? Want to save lives? Do it all here. But you've got to go forward fast. Because today is now, and tomorrow is soon. And to get ahead of the game, you got to get ahead of your time. This is your future, so take it and move all of us forward.
The GLIAC is the Conference of Champions. Since its inception in 1972, GLIAC teams have won 53 national championships and countless more individual championships.
Throughout the GLIAC, passionate fans come support our athletes in 21 NCAA-sponsored sports.
Just as important as being champions on the field.
The pool.
The court. The course.
The track. GLIAC student athletes are champions in the classroom and the community.
The GLIAC is.
The GLIAC is.
The GLIAC is.
The Conference of Champions.
It's not easy being an athlete. At Ferris, we do things others will not. We push boundaries. We get up when we fall, again and again. We put in long hours. We don't quit. We do what it takes. That is why we are champions.
Back to Top Taggart Field, Sandy Golson along with Rob Bentley here as the Bulldogs with a 36-3 lead here. Just under 2 minutes to go before we kick off here in the third quarter. Bulldogs just finishing up their warm-ups, and the Ashland Eagles just finishing up their warm-ups as well, as both teams will get ready to head to their respective sidelines, get their special teams personnel out here, and get ready to kick this one off here in about 1 minute, 40 seconds.
Sandy, some keys here in the second half. Obviously, the Bulldogs in control. Lead at 36-3, but some keys here in the second half of play here for the Bulldogs.
Well, I think the Bulldogs have to definitely continue to control the line of scrimmage in terms of running the football. That's going to be tremendously important for the Bulldogs. They got to be able to continue to get that push up front. The Bulldogs have to take care of the football, and they have to cut down on penalties. Penalties help put Ashland into some scoring positions. Turnover help put Ashland in a scoring position. So the Bulldogs need to cut down on that, and they need to really be able to continue to move that ball and control the line of scrimmage.
Ferris State last week played almost 100 guys, I believe, that were in uniform last week. Maybe not quite as many dressed out here today, not quite as many freshmen that suited up here for a big game like this, but still 90 guys or so that we could see before this night is all said and done. You have to wonder how long maybe some of those starters, especially when you think of Trinidad Chambliss at quarterback, will remain out there here with the score of 36-3.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot fewer guys dressed today for sure that you can see out there. And I think, some of it is that you expect Ashland to be really good and maybe not going to have as many opportunities to go that much deeper into your depth chart. Bulldogs do have a bye week next week, and then they have 2 games where they're going to be very heavily favored. So, unfortunately, one of them is on the road, so you might not necessarily take a whole bunch of guys on the road, but another one will be a homecoming game. against Roosevelt. So you could see an expanded roster for that homecoming game.
So the Bulldogs will come out here as Ferris State will have to kick it off here to start this second half of play as the Eagles will get the football. Of course, the Bulldogs elected to receive to start the contest after Ashland deferred, and was probably a good thing for the Bulldogs as Tyreek Brett ran the opening kick back 90 yards for a score.
Yeah, it actually worked out pretty well for the Bulldogs with a great return, as you mentioned, by the Bulldog track and field sprinter Tyreek Brett, and showed off that great speed getting to the end zone.
Of course, another member of that Bulldog track and field team, another sprinter, Chase Carter, was the number 2 guy listed here coming into this week. Of course, based on the fact he was the next quarterback in line a week ago, but Bulldogs have 4 or 5 other quarterbacks dressed out tonight, so we'll wait and see how Coach Anise elects to play this one. As fair catch called for by Riley Weiss here to start the second half.
Milton's
and
kick, fair caught.
The Eagles will come out and start here at the 25.
The decision right there on the fair
Brought
catch.
to the
Bulldogs have really
25-yard
done a good job in the kicking
First down,
game.
Ashland.
Not only the kick, a lot of hang time, deep kick, but also good coverage right there. Smart decision on the fair catch.
So out will come the Eagle offense. Of course, Ashland, another team that comes on the road. You don't dress as many guys, so probably a lot of their key guys that played in the first half are going to go the distance here this evening.
Yeah, you're pretty much going to have to. It's a numbers game that doesn't really work out in your favor at times on the road. Sometimes for worse, whether you're winning or losing. So we'll see how this plays off in the second half. And obviously you want to wish an injury-free second half for both teams.
Bazinski will start in the gun here for the Eagles. They trail 36-3 to start the second half. Quick throw to the outside and hooks up here on the first play to Kroom, who picks up about 6 or 7 yards here on the reception.
A little quick
Chincy's
out right
pass
there.
complete.
Let Bazinski get into a little bit of a rhythm here throwing the football early in the second half.
Of course, if you're Ashland, win or lose, you want to create some momentum going into next week. A very winnable game next week as they will travel to Hillsdale, which is off to a little bit of a slow start this year with the new head coach following the, of course, retirement of former Bulldog head coach Keith Otterbein.
Trying to come back there with the running play there. Gets right up to about that first down marker. You mentioned the legendary Keith Otterbein came to the Bulldog golf outing, so it was great to see Coach Otterbein come back to Ferris State and to be there with Coach Anise, Coach Pierce, and so many of the alumni going back decades.
Of course, one of the guys that was here at Ferris State during the 90s in the Otterbein-Pierce era was Butch Jones, who was back in Michigan today at the Big House.
Yeah, played Arkansas State, came to the Big House, played Michigan actually pretty tough.
Just short of
ended up losing one right there to Michigan. Of course, Michigan significant favorite, but
tackle made by
number
4,
Coach
Justin
Jones
Payout.
Still in the game and hoping to do some big things at Arkansas State.
Head coach there is the Eagles have 2nd and 4 here from the 41-yard line. Bazinski has completed the first couple passes here in the second half and intercepted by the Bulldogs. Ferris State with the INT near midfield as we wait for the number here for the Bulldogs. And I think it was Alston Ware that came up with the pick here for Ferris State.
Boy, just a great interception. Just stepped right in front.
Interception made by number 22,
like
Alston Ware.
Pickpocket right there.
First
just
down,
snatched it away.
Bulldogs.
Great interception.
Of course, Alston Ware, redshirt freshman for Ferris State. He was a guy that played those 3 games last year as a true freshman, got the start in the playoffs against Grand Valley State, and they expected him to be a big playmaker here for the Bulldogs on the outside. And made a huge pick here to start the second half.
He lived up to it right there. Big-time play.
Here comes Chambliss in the gun. 4 receivers in the formation here for the Bulldogs as Katzer will motion out. Trinidad back to throw, steps up in the pocket, and his pass complete. Here to Katzer coming across the middle into the outside here at the Eagle 49 for a short gain.
Well, Cannon Katzer just works his way all the way around the field. Comes down there and makes a great grab to help bail out his quarterback.
Maybe one of the true running backs the Bulldogs have had in some time. You think back maybe to Jahan Brown, since the Bulldogs have really had a guy like him in the offensive backfield here as he completes it outside this time to Amari O'Brien.
Yeah, short gain right there. You mentioned Jahan Brown, very athletic, big back, and you're right, a true running back there.
Amari O'Brien with the catch.
Great memories of a
Bring up
really
a 3rd and 5, Ferris
State.
State.
The Bulldogs a couple years ago went with Marcus Taylor as the tailback who had some good success in that national championship run for the Bulldogs. After moving from the slot, here's Katzer lined up left side of Chambliss. 3rd down and call it 5 for the Bulldogs. Back to throw. Trinidad has time. Over the top. He's trying to find O'Brien, and he drops it in. First down inside the red zone down to the 12-yard line here on the catch.
Well, he dropped that in his hands like a running back taking a handoff. I mean, just a great throw by Trinidad Chambliss.
Chambliss able to hook it up with Amari O'Brien, the senior, and the Bulldogs back in the red zone here. First down and 10 from the 12-yard line.
Perfect throw by Trinidad Chambliss.
So Chambliss will line up here with the offense on the left side hash. The Bulldogs looking to extend the lead. He's got two to the outside on the wide side of the field. Hunt Thompson back to the short side. Rose back in motion here for Ferris State. The Bulldogs going to run it inside to Katzer. He bounces outside and
Number 30
almost got back
Katzer
to the
on
line of
carry.
scrimmage here on a play that looked like it was going to be a big loss. Is going to lose a couple yards.
Yeah, great job. Bulldogs, had a blitz coming right at him and trying
Bring up
to
a
make
third
something out of a
13.
very difficult situation.
Second and 13.
Second and call it, about 12 yards to go here for the Bulldogs. Just underway in the second half. Ferris State leads it 36-3. And the Bulldogs in scoring position again here as Rose comes back to the short side. Chambliss with 15 on the play clock will look back to the Ferris State sideline. Now Trinidad will move Katzer to his right. Here in the offensive formation here for the Bulldogs. Takes the snap, back to throw. Chambliss to the outside and incomplete as he was trying to hook up with Cam Underwood on the outside.
Yeah, Trinidad hasn't missed too many times. That was one. I
pass
think he was
incomplete.
trying to be a little bit careful, Rob, not to maybe throw a pick six.
Pass
You saw the
intended
pick
to
that just
number
happened
9,
here
Cam Underwood.
that Ashland's Brzezinski just threw, and he didn't want to make that happen and kind of erred toward throwing it a little bit further away from the DB.
So Ferris State now will line up here as the Bulldogs send some movement up front and a bad snap here, but this one's going to be blown dead. I think it was offsides here against Ashland.
Yeah, Ashland jumped again, so not sure if it's the hard count or something, but Ashland a little fidgety at the line of scrimmage.
I think Jarvis Wyndham decided to snap the
Offsides.
ball when he saw the movement.
Defense number
Chambliss
94
didn't quite see
causing the
snap.
offense to react.
A
5-yard penalty.
good center, a veteran
Third
center
down.
would do, and he and Trinidad will continue to get that experience together. As I think Trinidad was looking back at the sideline, maybe did not see the jump.
So this will set up third and about 9 yards to go as the Bulldogs will move it down near the 11-yard line. Trips right here for Ferris State. Hunt Thompson back to the left here as Chambliss again taking his time. Play clock not moving here at 25.
Yeah, play clock is frozen.
So it is stopped here. So
Nobody's
Bulldogs
complaining.
have plenty of time here.
Yeah, Ashland's complaining now.
Now it's moving here as Chambliss looks to throw to the end zone.
Too easy.
Touchdown Bulldogs.
Touchdown Bulldogs.
A quick slant right there by Tyrese Hunt Thompson.
Pass complete.
And
Tyrese
Tyrese
Hunt
just came right off his break wide open. That ball right on the money.
Ferris State scores again to make it 42-3 here tonight as the Bulldogs dominating Ashland here in a nice drive there following the interception from Alston Ware.
Well, great job. Way to convert a turnover, an interception, tremendous interception by Alston Ware. Bulldogs convert that into 6 points, trying to make it 7.
Middleton's PAT is up, and it is good as the Bulldogs lead at 43-3, picked up right where they left off in the first half. They've extended the lead here against the Eagles.
Yeah, Bulldogs have been absolutely dominant here in this game, and that dominance just continues.
Ferris State football coverage tonight here on the Bulldogs Sports Network and Flow Sports, presented by Venlo. Big thanks as well goes out to our other partners, including PNC Bank, the Holiday Inn,
Fans,
Nutrition Force, LLC, Corwell Health, and Domino's for all their efforts in making this broadcast possible. Ferris State at home tonight. Of course, next home game for the Bulldogs not until homecoming on October 5th. You can get your tickets and parking in advance for that homecoming game. FerrisStateBulldogs.com/tickets. Should have an outstanding crowd. Hopefully the weather is great, but always a big crowd for the homecoming game.
It is. The alums coming back, and we've got a lot of anniversaries, fraternities, and academic programs, and so it's going to be a lot of alumni really turning out for homecoming, and it's just always exciting to see so many familiar faces, guys that I went to college with, women that I went to college with together, and people that I've seen in the years since, people that I know from before my era. It's just going to be a lot of fun for us to see so many of those familiar faces.
Middleton will kick it away here again for Ferris State as the Bulldogs kicking off from right to left as we look down at the field from the Wheeler Pavilion press box behind the Ferris State home sideline. And Middleton's kick going to be driven deep, and Weiss will field it here, and he's going to take the touchback back inside the 5.
What a weapon that could be. It just totally, almost completely negates your return game right there as he's getting good hang time and good distance, dropping that one almost on the 1 yard line almost every time.
So out will come the Ferris State defense again. And you know this defense wants to keep that 3 on the scoreboard here throughout the second half. They've still got that starting unit for the most part out there. Of course, they've played a lot of guys on the defensive side, but a number of those starters still out there here for the Bulldogs.
Well, you know, Coach Hodges and Coach Smith, Coach Caserta, Coach Tony Anise Jr., you know they want to keep their foot down on that gas pedal.
Of course, the Bulldogs have a week off following this game, so you want to give them every opportunity here to see the field as Stevenson tripped up here. Second effort.
He didn't want to go down. He's like,
he didn't want to go down. I heard some whistles down there. They did stop the forward progress right at the 25.
Well, you know Mike Edwards is not going to back down.
So no gain on the play here. We've seen a lot of Edwards back there on the back end here tonight.
Absolutely. Mike has gotten a lot of PT back there and done pretty well.
You mentioned we mentioned it earlier, but I haven't seen Jarvis Alexander return, so they've moved Leno Smith to a corner. I think Justin Payout out there here on the outside this time, so working some other guys on the back end to let those guys kind of move around. Eric Jackson back there defensively as well. EJ, that is, as Bazinski is hit as he throws.
Great
and
coverage.
That was Alston Ware on the coverage again. Had to force that throw with the pressure coming.
Well, he was right on back of his number 4 on that jersey. Great coverage there by Alston Ware, getting that inside hand in just in case to be able to deflect it away.
That's been a point of emphasis here for the Bulldogs, getting a pass rush and maybe creating a few more sacks than they had last year. They didn't get to him that time and maybe haven't got to him a number of times here tonight, but they've certainly forced some incompletions.
Yeah, they've made him uncomfortable at times. And even though they have not, as you mentioned, have not quite been able to get to him like they would like, they've made him uncomfortable in the pocket.
So third down here and 10 yards to go for the Eagles as Ashland will line up here. Bazinski back to throw again. Pressure coming again. He's looking over the top. This one overthrown here as he had to unload that one with Tyrone Fowler and company coming here from the outside.
Yeah, Bulldogs got a lot of pressure. You mentioned Fowler, Lambert, some other guys right there in the backfield there, and he had him on that kind of wheel route to the outside, but just overthrew it.
Coverage by number
Bulldogs
7.
will send out the special teams unit here as Ashland University will get ready to kick this one away. It'll be Jeremiah Lee back deep here for Ferris State.
Well, it's getting a late guy onto the field here.
It'll be Saipa Ia coming out. Sefa that is here as the Eagles will punt from their own end here with 10:31 to play in this third period. 43-3. The Bulldogs lead it. They're going to get the ball back.
Almost blocked.
And almost blocked.
It was blocked
here.
They are signaling that it was blocked partially.
So Ferris State did get to it. I think it was Madison that got there for the Bulldogs, got a piece of it. It was still a decent punt, and it's going to roll out of play at the Ferris State 42.
Yeah, I think Sefa Saipa coming in there, and they got that pressure. They came in punt block, so they were able to get a piece of that ball. But as you mentioned, under the circumstances, that's not a bad punt.
So Ferris State come out here on the offensive side, and looks like Chambliss is still out there here for the Bulldogs. So we'll see how many snaps he takes here the rest of the way for Ferris State, but he's still out there here on this series. Man in motion is O'Brien. And Amari's going to get it. Nice little cut back inside here by O'Brien, and he spins forward to midfield. Nice pickup here on a play that looked like it was going right, but he made a nice cut back up inside.
Yeah, so much speed right there inside, and just a tough guy to bring down.
So the Bulldogs taking their time here as Ferris State will line up here on second and collar, about 3 or 4 yards to go for the Bulldogs. You can follow the Bulldogs on social media at Ferris Athletics, both on Instagram or X, and along with Facebook throughout the year for complete coverage of Bulldog Athletics. Inside handoff, big hole for Markel King, and he tracks it down to the Eagle 38.
Big hole and explosiveness by Markel King hitting the hole.
Ferris State on the move again is Chambliss engineering this Bulldog attack tonight. And they've been very efficient here, moving the football here against what is usually a pretty good Eagle defense. Man in motion here is Lee, back to the near side. Hand off to King again, off the right side. No, it's a pass instead to Brett on the outside. That one had me fooled, and he gets it down to the 32.
He did. He faked the give there and then came back to the left side with a pitch to the outside, kind of a shovel pass to the outside receiver. And you're right, gets them right there within a couple yards of a first down.
Picked up 8 yards right there, so it'll be 2nd and 2 coming up here for the Bulldogs. Ball to the Ashland 31 as the Bulldogs are threatening again. Chambliss to the outside, low throw hauled in by James Gilbert. Nice little shifty move inside here as he gets it down to the 25, and the Bulldogs will move the chains again.
Good to see JG get involved. Had a great spring game earlier this year.
First down,
Bulldogs. And guy with a lot of talent.
Another guy kind of like Underwood that is kind of stepping into his role here after some time developing here in the Bulldog program. 4 receivers here from the left side. Brett in motion. The Bulldogs are going to throw it to the outside. Hauled in again by Gilbert down inside the 10 and to about the 8-yard line here for the Bulldogs.
Another dart thrown there by Trinidad Chambliss, and a couple of opportunities there for JG to touch the ball.
Actually not to the 8. Spotted back here a little bit further back at the 13, but nonetheless another first down pickup here for Ferris State. So the Bulldogs first down and 10 from the 13. 8:03 to play here in the third, trying to extend this lead once more. As King will get it here, and he spins forward to the 10. Pick up a 3 here. We'll set up 2nd and 7.
Well, it's like shades of the national championship year. Methodical run, the 2022 national championship year. Methodical running game, strong defense.
Bulldogs thought coming into the year might be the most explosive offense they've had, at least since maybe the 2021 championship year. Thought they were better maybe offensively than the last couple seasons. They've certainly shown that here in the last 2 weeks after a tough start in week 0 at Pittsburgh State.
Bulldogs, explosiveness is a good word. That's what the Bulldogs are looking like right now.
Man to the left side here at Chambliss. Chambliss with the option pitch, and King will spin forward. Picked up a yard or 2, but well read. Nice play defensively here by the Eagles on the outside.
He certainly, Trinidad doesn't want to take any unnecessary risks, so they kind of ran that speed to the near side there, and really a pretty quick toss there to the back coming out of the backfield.
That keeps the clock moving here with the Bulldogs in front 43-3. See what they elect to do here on 3rd and 6 as the Bulldogs have it at the Eagle 9. Ferris State will spread it out, 2 to the outside. Here comes Lee in motion. Some movement up front.
That's going to be a false start. I think this one's finally going to be against us.
I think that one is against the right side of the Ferris State offensive line.
False start.
Will be a false start here on the Bulldogs.
64.
Tim Anderson will come on.
Penalty.
So
still 3rd down.
They'll substitute as they had a few members of that second unit on the 2 deep out there on the offensive line, and kind of a teaching moment here for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, just a little bit of a jump right there, and
please reset the game clock to 6:46.
Earlier in the game, mainly in the first quarter, Bulldogs penalties were not very good for the Bulldogs, and since then they seem to have done a better job of cleaning that up.
So the Bulldogs now 3rd and call it 11 to go here as the Bulldogs are back to about the 14-yard line. So Chambliss here on 3rd and long. We'll set it up here for the Bulldogs. Lee back in motion. Trinidad to throw. Has time. Sets up the screen to the outside. Flag on the outside as he hooks up with Gilbert for the touchdown. But we wait and see what the flag is going to be.
We shall see.
Probably does not look good for the Bulldogs, but no signs yet from the official. They are pointing in the Bulldog direction, I believe.
Bulldogs, unfortunately, that looks like that's going to wipe out a touchdown.
Illegal motion.
James Gilbert.
Offense number 0. He was moving forward at the snap.
Negate that, and Ferris State's kind of moving in the wrong direction now here on the last few offensive snaps. A couple penalties for the Bulldogs here after a couple stops from Ashland. So 3rd, and now all of a sudden you're back to the 19-yard line.
Must have heard me about starting to clean up some of those penalties because the Bulldogs have now picked up a couple here, but Bulldogs obviously comfortably ahead right now, trying to continue to just work to minimizing mistakes and just executing.
3rd and call it 16 here as they need to get it to about the 3 to pick up the first down. So 3rd and long here for Ferris State as Chambliss taking his time. He'll look back to the sideline. Play clock still at 10. Lee ran from the wide side back to the short side. Now he moves back to the wide side.
Yeah, Coach Anise waved him back.
Down to 5 here on the play clock for Ferris State.
Empty.
As Chambliss drops back, 4-man rush, steps up in the pocket, now on the run. Trinidad to the outside, using his speed here for the Bulldogs and gets out of bounds. Got a lot of that yardage back as he gets it down inside the 10. 4th down coming up, and looks like the Bulldogs are going to try to tack on 3 more.
Smart play by Trinidad. Maybe if you got Carson Gulker in the lineup, you might think about trying to push that, but it's too valuable right now with a 40-point lead to risk an injury right there. And smart move to just get out of bounds.
So 6 minutes left here in the third. The Bulldogs trying the field goal try here and what will be about, looks like about a 26-yard try here from Middleton from the left side hash. Sam Wahlberg is the long snapper. Rose to hold. Kick is on the way, and it hits the upright. So that one's going to be no good here as the Eagles prevent the Bulldogs from scoring, and that keeps it here at 43-3.
I don't see too many off the upright anymore. I saw 2. I think there were 2 in the Arkansas State, I think, against Michigan. So you don't see it very often.
Of course, kicking toward the north end. We've got the sun is well set here at Top Tigard Field. Is starting to get darker. The lights are on here in Big Rapids tonight in this second half of play, and we're already down to the final 6 minutes here of the third period.
Yeah, just a beautiful night here in Mecosta County as Ashland taking the field right here, and our fans being treated to a great offensive performance here by the Bulldogs and a great defensive performance, another great defensive performance here as the Bulldogs trying to get the right personnel out here.
Jones will come off the field. Jalen Jones, that is, here as the Bulldogs substitute by Zinski. Will give it off on the carry here on the near side, and the Eagles trying to get some positive yardage. They got maybe a yard or two, but they haven't got much out of the running game here against this Bulldog defense.
No, it's been tough sledding with the running game. They showed some signs of being able to get something going earlier in the game, but since then, Bulldogs have really clamped down. It just has been really nowhere to run with the football.
Bulldogs have went with some new guys up front. Ralph Carter checks in on the defensive line. Jarek Fields and Christian Kramer are the linebackers here for Ferris State. So seeing some action here with some of the other defensive starters here for the Bulldogs. Jones will come back on here as Lambert checks out here for Ferris State. College second and about 8 with 5 minutes left in this third quarter. Bazinski going to give it off. They'll run it off the left side. Nice little cut back to the near side, and they get it out to about the 27-yard. Patrick Blubaugh on the carry. That'll set up third and got about 2 or 3 yards here for the Eagles.
It looks like third and about 2 here as they were able to run away from the pressure right there. He found not much of a seam, but he was able to squeeze through it, get them to within a couple yards of first down that they would like to get to, if no other reason, give their defense a rest.
I'd love to keep this Bulldog offense off the field as Ferris State has had a strong performance here offensively when they've touched the ball here tonight. Third and call it 2 from the 28. Handoff right side, and the Bulldogs read it well.
Nothing.
He tried to cut back, but I think it's going to be no gain here, and fourth down coming up here again for the Eagles.
Well, he had to fight to get back to the line of scrimmage there as Ashland right now going to send the punting unit out. It looks like the traditional punting unit out.
So Jeremiah Lee will come back out to receive here for Ferris State. 43-3 Bulldog lead here inside of 4 minutes to go here in this third quarter of play. So Ferris State in control as the Eagles will have to give it right back to the Bulldogs after the defensive stop.
Bulldogs maybe see if they're probably going to drop back here, but no, they're going to bring some pressure. Good job by Ashland picking up the pressure. Good punt.
Lee's going to field it here for Ferris State. No, he calls for the fair catch, but he fumbles it, trying to get back on top of it, and he did.
Somehow got it back. Wow. Ashland just missed an opportunity for a huge recovery off the muff.
Recovered by Jeremiah Lee.
Muffed that one, but bounced off an Eagle player, and he fell back on top of it here to keep possession here for the Bulldogs. Back at their own end here, looks like at the 25-yard line, is Chambliss will come out here probably to finish out this third here for the Bulldogs.
Great job, though, by Jeremiah Lee to recover there, because he could have gotten really discouraged right there, but he did a good job of recovering.
You're in tune to Bulldog football here on the Bulldog Sports Network. Live coverage tonight on Flow Sports, courtesy of Ferris State Television. Of course, online as well at ferrisstatebulldogs.com. Chambliss in the gun with a man to his right. Handoff, no, fake to King. He throws it outside to Gilbert, who makes a nice little turn back to the inside and gets it out to the 39 for a first down.
Great job there by James Gilbert finding some open space. Trinidad hitting him as the Bulldogs look to wrap up this third quarter.
A lot of time left, still 3 minutes left here in the third as the Bulldogs are marching from the south to the north, right to left as we look down at the field here in Big Rapids. Chambliss with King to his left as they'll come with a man back in motion here to the near side. Throw to the outside. Gilbert again avoids the first tackle. Then a host of Eagles coming in to hold him maybe to half a yard gain.
Yeah, a few too many white shirts right there for James Gilbert as he was trying to shake free.
Bulldogs have worked some guys in on the offensive line. Dane Arnett in at left tackle. Travis Miracle is the left guard, I believe, right now here for Ferris State. Pristula is out there as the H-back here for the Bulldogs. As Ferris State taking its time here. 18 on the play clock, and Chambliss in no hurry here as the offensive staff signals in the play here for the Bulldogs.
Bulldogs want to keep that clock rolling.
Second and almost 10 yards still to go here for the Bulldogs as Brett moves in motion to the wide side here for Ferris State. Chambliss going to throw to the outside, and low throw, but almost hauled in here. Going to be incomplete as he was looking for Tay Boyd there on the outside.
Tay Boyd getting some action there.
Of course, Tay Boyd started his career, two-sport athlete here at Ferris State. Has shifted to football here for the Bulldogs, and he's got some talent out there on the outside.
He's a talented guy, still relatively young guy, with an opportunity, a bright future in this program.
Just a redshirt freshman here for Ferris State as the Bulldogs line back up. It'll be 3rd and 10 here from the Bulldog 38 for Chambliss with King left side. O'Brien will come in motion here for the Bulldogs. Amari into his route here as Chambliss is looking for him initially and now throws it away here. Did a nice job of just getting rid of the football, did not force it. It'll be 4th down coming up.
I love it. Good decision. Good decision. It's not there. Just throw it away. Didn't even try to throw it to the underneath man. Could have maybe tried to force it to the underneath man relatively safely, but he said, you know what, I'm just going to throw it away.
So the Bulldogs will have to punt the football here tonight. Of course, I think they punted maybe once in the first half. Middleton had one kick here as he'll line back up. I think that's King next to him here wearing the pink shoes. I'm not entirely sure, but Bulldogs do use that two-punter look, but you'd have to think Middleton is
I'm guessing
probably the guy right here. No. Yeah, they fooled us again. And
well, that was partially blocked.
Yeah, but it got a good Bulldog roll here, and it's going to roll down all the way inside the 40.
See, now you know what? I guess that's why you don't jump to assumptions. We jump to assumptions, and Coach Anise and the staff, they switch it up on us.
And tough to see here the numbers, but it was not Markel King. I think it was LaShawn Mumpfield is the guy that was called wearing the number 16 jersey down there for the Bulldogs. That was the other punter back there.
Challenging to see under the lights here with that the red numerals on the black shirt, but he did a pretty good job there, kind of a rugby style punt, getting it off there, and maybe a bit of a deflection there at the line of scrimmage.
So out will come Ashland University again as Bozinski and the Eagles with 1:48 to play in the third trail Ferris State 43-3 tonight here in regional play, non-conference action here at Top Taggart Field. Bozinski in the gun, low snap, he fumbles it, trying to pick it back up, and now he's going to try to tuck it and run. Kind of stood there for a second, wasn't sure what to do, and then finally falls forward here and is going to lose maybe a yard or two.
He was trying to make sure he had control of the ball. He got the recovery and then controlled the ball, and then as he looked up, the pocket, it just collapsed around him, and just trying to stay safe at that point.
So Ferris State now forces Ashland into 2nd and 11. As the Bulldogs will look back to the sideline. Big thanks to Pepsi and Gatorade for their support of the Bulldogs. As Bozinski has a man to his right in Stevenson, I believe, here in the offensive backfield. They're going to give it off to him here, and he sweeps it to the outside, and the Bulldogs track him down. Edwards and a host of Bulldogs over there on the near side. Fields in there on the tackle as well. And Toby McAfee, I believe, as well, coming from the defensive end spot.
Great job. Bulldogs rotating a number of guys into this lineup right there. You can see Ashland trying to run that ball inside. They had to pop it back outside. Bulldogs had a number of guys right there on top of the play.
Davis and Carter will come in here on the defensive line for Ferris State. 3rd and 11 here in what might be the final play here of this third quarter with 35 seconds to go. Bozinski back to throw. Short route here. Hauled in here for a short pickup. And again, the Bulldogs kind of gang tackling the receiver here at the 39-yard line.
They don't necessarily have to run another play here.
20 seconds to play here in this third quarter.
We got some pushing and shoving here.
So maybe the end result is they will have to run another play as the clock will stop with 17 seconds to go.
Sure looks like it now with the yellow laundry on the field.
So Ferris State, again, rotating some guys in there here on the defensive line as Marquis Jones will come back on. Also coming back on here for Ferris State, I believe McPhee will come back on here for the Bulldogs. So we wait for the officials. They've elected, for whatever reason tonight, not to use the ref mic. I'm not even sure they've tried to use it here this evening.
I don't think they have.
I had that conversation at halftime. It sounded like the officials just have elected not to use it here this evening. And
for whatever reason. We'll see if we can pick up the signal.
There fouls on both teams on the play, after the play, on sports and alike.
And it looks like
conduct,
unsportsmanlike conduct has been called against
defense
Ashland
number 10.
Ferris State, so
those fouls
offsetting penalties, I believe.
That's both those players first on sports and alike of the game. 4th down.
The only thing that did was stop the clock here with 17 seconds to go. So the Eagles may get one more play here in the third, but it is 4th down coming up here for Ashland.
They're going to send the punting unit on here again.
So the Eagles probably going to have to kick it away here to Ferris State. Again, following the game tonight, we'll have the Preferred Office Machines post-game show on your radio dial. And, of course, online at ferrisstatebulldogs.com. We'll have that posted as well later on tonight, the post-game press conference with words from head coach Tony Anise and probably a couple Bulldog players when this one is all said and done. Punt situation here for the Eagles on 4th and 3. You got to be careful of the fake here. And it looks like that'll do it for the third quarter. So they'll wait and start the fourth quarter with the punt. Ferris State leads it through 3 periods of play. 43-3 our score here tonight at Top Tiger Field. We'll take a 60-second break. The fourth quarter coming up after this timeout on the Bulldog Sports Network.
Cheer team. Again, the winning ticket.
Somebody once said life moves pretty fast, and that's exactly how we like it. Want to build something? Great. Start businesses, build bridges, raise a whole city. Future in fighting crime? Want to save lives? Do it all here. But you've got to go forward fast. Because today is now, and tomorrow is soon. And to get ahead of the game, you got to get ahead of your time. This is your future, so take it, and move all of us forward.
Welcome back, everyone, to Bulldog football coverage. Rob Bentley and Sandy Golston with you as the Eagles punt it away to start this fourth quarter of play. Good kick here, going to be fielded by Jeremiah Lee back inside his own 25. Lee spins out of a couple tackles, trying to get to the wall on the outside, out across the 25 before he's driven out of bounds, and that's where the Ferris State offense will start this final period of action here tonight as the Bulldogs will march out here offensively, and we'll see what they elect to do here on the offensive side. So the Eagles had an injured man back. I believe that may have been the punter at the other end as he walks gingerly off the field. And Ferris State will get started here offensively. I think that might be Mumpfield here to start this final quarter of play here for the Ferris State offense. So the Bulldogs will substitute again here. A couple new guys here in the slot on the near side as we are just underway here in this fourth quarter of play. 43-3 Bulldog lead here as Ferris State going to give it off here on the carry. And a short pickup here to the 30-yard line for the Bulldogs.
Carry by number
Bulldogs
20.
Is trying to keep things moving down the field and keep that clock churning away right now as Bulldogs right now comfortably ahead and just trying to work their way into this bye week with a 2-1 record.
Bulldogs have rotated some guys in there on the offensive line. They've went with some new personnel here to start this final period of play. I think that was Kobe, James Kobe, that is, on the carry on that last offensive snap for the Bulldogs. Second and call it 7 here for Ferris State. Bulldogs will run the little counter back to the near side. And this is going to be very close to another first down here for the Bulldogs. Out across the 35, it will be a first down here on the carry from James Kobe, the veteran running back here for the Bulldogs.
Kobe on the carry.
First down, great run there by James. This is just terrific, watching him run in traffic, and it's just like a surgeon cutting through the defense.
Ferris State here lines back up, 13:45 to play on the move here once again. Despite the changes here on this offensive side here for the Bulldogs. Mumpfield back to throw here, avoids the rush, looks over the middle and finds his man here into Eagle territory. Big catch. I think that was Gilbert again here for the Bulldogs. A little slow to get up, but appears to be okay.
Sprinting off right there, but a little bit shaken up, but a great grab there by James.
So Ferris State has it at the Eagle 40-yard line as Ferris State will line up here. Trinidad Chambliss tonight, the most passing yards individually in a Bulldog win. Going back to that Pittsburgh State game in 2022 by Malik Mitchell here. Last with the 300-plus yards in a game was Mitchell as well against Central Washington in 2022. Thanks to good friend Harrison Watt, former voice of Ferris State hockey, tuned in tonight.
Harrison Watt on the broadcast. Always great for him to join, and he always has those little tidbits. So Great to hear from Harrison.
He had one earlier this week about last week's game that we didn't get on the air, and Trinidad Chambliss, yet another Bulldog quarterback under Tony Anise that has accounted for 5 touchdowns in a game, did that last week. And every starting quarterback that has ever done so under Tony Anise has had at least 5 touchdowns.
Ooh,
this one nearly intercepted here on the outside.
Yeah, receiver went inside, ball went outside.
Mumpfield's pass
intended for Jalen Townsend here for the Bulldogs. As Ferris State again, some new personnel out there here, both on the offensive line and at the skill positions here on this offensive series. So head coach Tony Anise, I think, has seen enough of his starting unit here tonight and has decided 43-3 lead here starting the fourth is finally maybe a little bit comfortable here for the Bulldogs.
That's probably as comfortable as he gets in these types of games.
Never know against a team like Ashland, but this Bulldog team has been up to the challenge here tonight. Mumpfield rolls out, hooks up, but a big hit here to force the incompletion here on the near side.
That was a big hit right there in the rib cage.
So was trying to hook up with as a receiver coming across here for the Bulldogs on the outside. It's number 14. It's supposed to be Chase Carter, but that's not him out there, right, for the Bulldogs.
If it is, Chase Carter might have a new career because he looked pretty good running that route.
Might have had a number change for Ferris State. We'll see if we can figure that out.
Chase Carter.
It is not Chase Carter. It just was announced here over the PA system. But nonetheless here, the Bulldogs will line back up here offensively in a 4 receiver set. It'll be 4th down here for the Bulldogs. From the Eagle 37, Mumpfield drops back to throw. Trying to set up the screen, now on the move. He's got some room to run. Makes a nice little cut here, and he gets it down to the 33. Going to be about 3 yards short, and the Bulldogs will turn it over here on downs.
The Bulldogs will have to give it up.
So out will come the Ferris State defense here this evening as the Bulldog defense will get set here with 12-12 to go in the ball game and see if they can preserve this 3-point night. Once again, they gave up 3 last week. Didn't give up a whole lot in week 1 to Pittsburgh State, at least by their doing. And they've been pretty solid from top to bottom here so far through 3 games.
They have indeed, and let's see if this defense, you know that they want to hold that 3 on the scoreboard if they can.
So the Eagles will set up here as they will give it off. Cameron Blair comes out at quarterback here for Ashland, I believe. Backup quarterback here, taking the snaps here in this 4th quarter, and not much doing there on that first play.
Not a whole lot of room there, as Ashland might be content to keep this clock moving and get out of here too.
2nd and call it, 9 yards to go here. Is this maybe a quick-moving 4th quarter with the way it's looked so far? We'll have to wait and see.
Here it certainly appears that both teams want to keep this clock rolling.
For ticket scores, merchandise, video, and more, be sure to log on to FerrisStateBulldogs.com. 2nd and call it, 9 yards to go. Blair to throw. Looking over the top, and that one thrown away here as he had no one there. E.J. Jackson back on coverage, along with Trey Rigby here for Ferris State in the defensive secondary.
Closest one to that one was Arnold Sadov on the sideline there. He decided not to die for it.
Arnold Sadov, transfer from the GLIAC from Wayne State University, has been a nice addition on that defensive line here for the Bulldogs.
He certainly has. He is. He brings the heat over there on that defensive line and been a great addition to that group.
3rd down here for Ashland University with 11:33 to play here as Blair will drop back. Pressure coming, and he's snowed under. He lost his helmet as the Bulldogs sack him all the way back. They're going to call it the 26. He ended up back about the 20-yard line, but they'll give him forward progress to the 26.
He is saying what happened right there as he turns to
nice
the white hat.
Nice play by the Ferris State defensive line.
And try to get that helmet on. White hat might be saying, you got to come out. Well, he's going to have to come out anyway probably because they're going to punt.
It is 4th down coming up again, so that was a quick series here for Ashland as the Eagles.
Oh, you know what? That should have been a face mask. That must have been what he was complaining about.
They may have missed a different officiating crew, but may have missed on the injury to Carson Golker last week. Saw a couple photos, and there was a face mask on that play as well.
Definitely one that was missed there on that unfortunate play.
And they almost got to this one. Somehow the punter gets away a good one into Bulldog territory, avoided the kind of first wave, and somehow got it away as the second wave was coming for the Bulldogs.
That is crazy. You do not see that very often. He went to punt, pulled the punt back, rolled out, and tried a rugby-style punt. Got that one off actually pretty well under the circumstances.
Good pressure by the Bulldogs. Madison along with Colby Brown E.J. Jackson and maybe a few others were back there for the Bulldogs.
At the 30-yard line, first down, Ferris State.
So the Bulldogs will line back up here, and I think we got another change at quarterback. This might be Jack Shearholtz, the Marshall transfer here for Ferris State that came in here last spring for the Bulldogs. Head coach Tony Anise gave the first series to Mumpfield here tonight. It'll be Shearholtz running hard here off the right side. He gets it out to the 36. So these are some good minutes here for the Bulldogs. As Coach Anise, the guy that has had to play multiple quarterbacks, you know, he's trying to maybe develop that next guy here to be ready.
I think that's a consideration for sure because, you know, with Trinidad, you know, being the experienced guy now in the lineup, you got to work on getting some other guys ready to go.
So the Bulldogs will line up here, second and call it, about 4 yards to go here for Ferris State. They'll set a man in motion here as the Bulldogs will give it off on the sweep to the right side. Speed here to the edge and a first down pickup here for the Bulldogs.
Great work right there. Good blocking out on the edge as Ashland was trying to string that one out, but the Bulldogs did a pretty good job of actually moving that ball.
So first down here for Ferris State as the Bulldogs get it out across the 40. And Shearholtz has the offense moving in the right direction here inside of 10 minutes remaining for Ferris State. 43-3 lead here for the Bulldogs in the fourth. Bulldogs jumped all over Ashland here early. High snap pulled down. Shearholtz able to make something happen here as he runs hard and gets it out to the 45. Similar in size maybe to a guy like Carson Golker or Jason Vanderlaan, who played quarterback for the Bulldogs for so many years.
Oh, yeah, he's a tough runner. He's showing some of those characteristics for sure.
Grand Valley State late in the first leads Colorado State Pueblo on the road 7-0.
Well, make it 13-0, I think, right there.
The Lakers just scored again, it looks like, as another high snap pulled down here, and Bulldogs trying to make something happen. Short maybe pickup here after the bobbled exchange.
Bodies just stacked up everywhere right now, trying to untangle.
I think that was Mumpfield back on
16,
here for Ferris State. So Mumpfield returns and maybe gets half a yard or a yard. It'll be third and short, 3rd and 5 coming up here for the Bulldogs. If you're Ferris State tonight, Coach Anise just wants to probably keep that clock moving.
He just wants to see that clock moving right now. He's got his subs in right now, and he wants them to hold the line, literally and figuratively, and just keep moving that ball forward, protect that ball, and just minimize mistakes.
Of course, the Bulldogs have done that tonight in terms of holding the line. They've really controlled the line of scrimmage here on both sides of the football this evening. Mumpfield to throw, sets up the screen. Nice little screen play here, but a flag thrown as the Bulldogs are going to be held to about a 1 or 2 yard gain. It looked like it was there initially, but
it's going to be a hold against the Bulldogs here as they were trying to set up that screen.
They're looking to Coach Anise on the sideline here as he's talking with the linesman here on the near side. And now they're going to confer with the Ashland staff across the field. Of course, we mentioned Ashland.
He's declining.
Coming back on the road to Michigan next week to face Hillsdale will be maybe a little bit different test for the Eagles next week than it is here tonight.
Penalties decline. Result of the play is 4th down.
For the Eagles, I think that'll be a return trip that they'll be much happier to make than this trip here. But Ashland going to decline that penalty since it is 4th down.
So it'll be 4th and about 4 here. Of course, the Bulldogs will have a bye next week. They will travel to American International in 2 weeks out in Springfield, Massachusetts. And, of course, tough to find games here in Division II football, but credit to the Eagles for being one of those programs that certainly not afraid of the challenge here against a team like Ferris State.
Oh, good punt by LeSean.
Yeah, this one will roll all the way inside. The 10 going to be picked up here, and fortunately, the Eagles, Weiss picks it up and did not turn it over. We got a late flag thrown here.
Well, I think, unfortunately for the Bulldogs, that's going to be a face mask.
So we will wait and see here as Weiss bobbled it initially, but able to pick it up and try to make something happen.
I think the Bulldogs' second wave picked up a face mask penalty, so unfortunately that's going to get Ashland out of some trouble here.
Kicking team number 14.
Bulldog defense
yards
comes
from the
out
end of the run.
here as Ferris State with a 43-3 lead, 8:04 remaining in the ball game. Trying to close it out here against Ashland this evening, thanks to Under Armour and BSN Sports, the official apparel providers here of Ferris State Athletics. We'll have the Preferred Office Machines post-game show, and this one's all said and done here tonight from inside the Wheeler Pavilion. I believe we'll have Tyrese Thompson, Sefa Sapaia, the two that are expected to come up here tonight for our post-game press conference as Stevenson rolls it off the right side and gets it out to the 30-yard line here.
Well, you mentioned with the lack of depth that you have sometimes on the road, Stevenson back in there to run the ball for Ashland there. As he tries to find that seam off the right side of the offensive line.
This is an Ashland team that we would expect would win a good number of games in the Great Midwest Athletic Conference this season. Had some very high expectations coming into the year, but a young team overall.
And I think they still will. I think they still will win a lot of games in that conference, to be honest. I mean, obviously, Findlay looks very good in that conference, and, you know, Tiffin is a good team in that conference, but there's some wins there for Ashland this year moving forward.
Of course, saying Findlay's a good team, kind of like saying Grand Valley State's a good team. Maybe the Eagle fans don't necessarily want to hear that.
I think you're exactly right. I think, but sometimes reality is tough.
So Ashland now facing third and call it about 7 yards to go. Here with the ball at the 28. As the Bulldogs make another change here on the defensive line. I believe Ralph Carter and Tim Allen are the defensive ends right now here for Ferris State on this series. As Blair drops back, has time, looks short here on the pass to Stevenson, and he's tripped up quickly. Nice open field tackle made by Trey Rigby here in the defensive secondary.
Boy, I love the way the Bulldogs are just swarming to the ball right there. Rigby shaking up just a little bit, but came in hard and made a strong tackle right there as they saw that that ball was coming to Stevenson out of the backfield.
Shaking his hand, he hit him so hard right there as the Bulldogs will send on Jeremiah Lee to be the punt returner here once again. As Ashland will have to kick it here. The Eagles kicking from inside their own 20. 6:12 to go here in a quick-moving fourth quarter of play here tonight. Is this punt here, they got it away, and it's a good one.
That's a
This
bomb.
is going to make Lee backpedal all the way. He fumbles it initially, picks it up, and then kind of spins down to the ground at the 25. Fortunately able to hold on to the football.
Great job there by Ashland. Boy, that was a bomb of a punt.
So the Bulldog offensive line will come out. Again, working some new guys here into the offensive equation as Elmer Jakupovic, I believe, will come on the offensive line, among others, here for Ferris State.
To tonight's
Fourth
fan of
quarter
the game,
flying by
cakes,
here, now
cookies,
under
and
6
other
minutes to
baked
go.
goods.
Darian
Head over to
Kruja,
Nero's
one of the
Bakery
outside
located in
targets on the
downtown
far
Big
side. A
Rapid.
veteran here, Jashawn Johnson, believe in the slot on the opposite side here for the Bulldogs. As Ferris State works out of the shotgun set. First down and 10 here for the Bulldogs. As Mumpfield spins out of it, rolls to the near side, looking upfield here on the high pass. It almost called in. Boyd was trying to tiptoe the sideline at midfield and could not make the catch.
Yeah, he was trying to find that sideline. You're absolutely right. Trying to find that sideline and trying to make the catch there as Mumpfield rolling out to the near side, throwing on the run. Actually, pretty sharp throw there under the circumstances.
Head coach Tony Anise, again, elected to go with Mumpfield. He's had quite a few of the snaps here in the fourth as he tries to really find out who that number 2 guy is going to be here for the Bulldogs behind Chambliss. Call it 2nd and 10 here for Ferris State as Bulldogs will send a man in motion. Quick throw here to the outside as they get to the edge out across the 30 to about the 32-yard line here on the pickup. I believe was Jalen Benton here for Ferris State.
Yeah, Mumpfield, one thing, he doesn't bring a lot of size back there at quarterback, but he's a tremendous athlete, very tough to contain in the pocket, and he's got a rifle for an arm.
A redshirt freshman out of Detroit Cass Tech. We mentioned it last week, but the home of another pretty good Bulldog quarterback in recent history in J. Rue Campbell.
He didn't have too bad of a career.
Harlan Hill Trophy winner for the Bulldogs. Led Ferris State to the national championship game for the first time in 2018. Mumpfield across the middle, hooks up with Benton. He makes the grab, and he holds on and has the first down out to the 42.
He knew he was going to have to sacrifice the body because you come across the middle like that at this level, you're going to take a big hit.
So now Mumpfield will check out. Shearholtz will come back on here at the controls. Inside of 5 minutes left here in this fourth period of play. Scored 43-3 here for Ferris State tonight. As the Bulldogs have rolled since the early going, haven't looked back since that opening kickoff return.
They really haven't. That just set the tone for this game right here as Bulldogs fake the sweep to the outside.
Shearholtz up the gut with it here to the 45, and maybe he brings something the Bulldogs maybe could be missing with the loss of Golker. Brings some size and the ability to run the football here up the middle.
He does have that ability that you really like, and that he's also a guy that does bring some experience.
Division I transfer here for the Bulldogs. He's got James Kobe in the offensive backfield with him here for Ferris State as the Bulldogs will line up here. Second and call it 7 yards to go Off the near side hash. In motion comes Karuja here for the Bulldogs, the veteran. It'll be Shearholtz up the middle again, spinning forward here as he gets it near midfield. It'll be third and short coming up here for Ferris State.
Yeah, Bulldogs just, again, going to use a lot of these guys. And, they're still trying to sort through who's going to be that definitive next guy. And so there's competition right there.
They hope for sure the rest of the way they don't have to use that next guy unless they get into a situation like this. As Chambliss, you want to keep him healthy as he has been electric the last couple weeks.
He has been absolutely on fire.
It'll be Shearholtz right up the middle, running hard here for the Bulldogs, very close to a first down. And
got a flag on the opposite side of the field, but Shearholtz put that shoulder down and just plowed ahead.
We'll wait and see who this is on. He's close, maybe close enough to measure with where it's at on the field. Looks like he might be a little bit short, but we'll wait and see what that flag is over there on the Ashland sideline.
Where the linesman is set, and it is very close.
They're trying to sort out the penalty right now, though. Who is this on here? It's thrown right next to the Eagles sideline.
Long conversation here. Let's see what. Let's get our verdict.
Illegal formation. Offense. 5 players in the backfield
here against the Bulldogs.
5-yard penalty. Replay third
negate
down.
the run from Shearholtz, and now it'll be third and a little bit longer distance to work with here for Ferris State.
Yeah, Coach Anise a little frustrated there as they had probably pretty close to first down yardage, if not measurably close.
So this will set up third and call it 3 to go. 3:23 to play. Here in this third quarter, live coverage tonight here on Flow Sports, courtesy of Ferris State Television. Of course, putting in the great work here the last couple weeks and making this broadcast possible. Live tonight as well here on our radio dial, thanks to Steve Masters back at the Sunny 97.3 studios. Out of the gun here on third and call it 8 yards here for the Bulldogs. Quick throw, Shearholtz to the outside of Karuja. And he gets it back near midfield here as he lowers the shoulder. And
Shearholtz pass complete.
Popped right back up.
That's very close to a first down. Going to be fourth and about 2 coming up. And
we'll bring up a
probably going to leave the offense out there here with 2:40 to play and maybe a first down to finish it off here for the Bulldogs.
First down would pretty much put this one on ice as Karuja, boy, big collision right there.
So the Bulldogs looking back to the Ferris State sideline and head coach Tony Anise as looks like we have the
timeout, Ashland.
Timeout
coming. I was going to say we're not quite
First
yet to the 2-minute
half.
timeout, which will come here at the 2-minute mark. But the score remains 43-3, and been pretty impressive performance here tonight for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, I think you look at getting started there with that quick touchdown on the return by Tariq Brett, and that just really set the tone. And because the offense was fired up to get out there on the field, and after Ashland won the toss deferred, Bulldogs just take it right off the bat, just right to the house, and then it was just all Bulldogs from there, and they just really put their foot down on the gas pedal and did not let up.
Ferris State football. A reminder, you can follow the Bulldogs online at ferrisstatebulldogs.com. Bulldogs soccer will be at home tomorrow against Ashland, 1 o'clock. All right, to the south of us here at the Bulldogs soccer field, celebrating 25 years of Ferris State soccer action. As the Bulldogs fourth and call it 2 to go from right at midfield here at the 50-yard line. So Shearholtz still at quarterback here for Ferris State. Tight set for the Bulldogs. He's got Johnson in the slot. Here to the right side with Karuja to the outside. Johnson to move in motion. It'll be Shearholtz up the middle, powering forward, spins out of it and picks up the first down. Here is the Bulldogs will move the chains with 2:15 to go.
First down.
That's just about do it right
Bulldogs.
there. Both linesmen had it as the chains move, and Bulldogs getting ready to put this one away.
Ferris State tonight here at home, picking up its second straight victory as the Bulldogs have controlled the line of scrimmage here against the Eagles since the outset. And it's 43-3 as we reach the 2-minute timeout here at Top Taggart Field. We'll take one as well back after the 60-second break here on the Bulldog Sports Network.
Until teams are done with their post-game meetings. Again, please stay off the field until teams are done with their post-game meetings. And thank you for your cooperation.
Want to be a storyteller? The television and digital media production program at Ferris State University is the create space for you. At Ferris, you will apply creative and technical skills to create stories worth telling. You will be immersed in your learning. You will practice every part of the production process. You will create in state-of-the-art facilities with the latest equipment and software. The TDMP program at Ferris State. Learn to make storytelling your career. Find out more at ferris.edu/TDMP.
Bulldog football coverage right here on the Bulldog Sports Network at Flow Sports. Rob Bentley and Sandy Golston with you as the Bulldogs just had a good surge there on the play, and we got an injury here for the Eagles. Man down here. I think it's maybe Charlie Spencer on a quarterback here for the Bulldogs.
Boy, he is in some pain right there.
Hopefully nothing serious. We saw a couple injuries last week on the Bulldogs side, and you never like to see that, especially with a game like this where the score certainly not in doubt here with less than 2 minutes remaining.
Oh, yeah, he came in late. Maybe tried to get over the pile right there, and unfortunately injured right there, and he is definitely in a lot of pain.
Ashland University training staff out there to take a look at him. Looks like some of the Bulldog staff will come over as well. Hopefully nothing too serious here as hushes kind of came over the crowd that is remaining here at Top Taggart Field. Had a great crowd when this game started again. Beautiful weather here when this one got underway here today at Top Taggart Field. Warmer temperatures, but certainly has cooled off a little bit here as we have reached darkness here in the Big Rapids area.
Looks like injured player is going to be okay as Bulldogs medical staff went over to check, and sounds like they told him everything's going to be okay. That is Asher Hayes, big defensive end right there, as he's worked up to a sitting upright position and now back up on his feet.
So that's a good sign here as the Bulldog fans will give him a nice round of applause here with 1:48 to play. He'll be helped off the field, but
Ashland has elected to use a
right
timeout to avoid a 10-second runoff
to Ashland
for an injury under 2 minutes.
Game, and
Ashland has one timeout remaining.
Certainly a long trip home. It was a Bulldog victory, so we always enjoy it after a win, but you get home at 5 a.m., which is probably when the Eagles are going to get home this year.
That's right. That's assuming that they get out of here and get on the bus pretty quickly. That's going to be a long trip back to Ashland, Ohio, and even longer it feels like when you're coming back with a loss.
Out of the gun here, I believe it's Spencer at quarterback here for Ferris State. As the Bulldogs will keep it on the ground here. Good hard run here up the middle, and we'll see where forward progress. It's going to be another first down here to the 35 with 1:43 to go.
Good for
yeah, Bulldogs doing a good job of rotating a lot of guys in on that offensive line, and yet the result continues to be the same.
James Kobe in there still at tailback, I believe, here for Ferris State. Bulldogs do have a couple freshmen on the dress list as well, but certainly do not want to play guys too many games with maybe some of the other games you have coming up where they're going to get maybe some more playing time and able to preserve playing in just 3 games here this season. As Kobe will get it in again right up the middle, and he's one of those guys you can play in every game.
You can play him as much
Kobe
as you want.
on the carry.
As again finds those seams.
Good for 6 yards.
That's kind of an interesting point. Hadn't really thought of. You play a team like Ashland where maybe you get a chance to play some of these guys in the fourth quarter, but you never know. You got a couple games later on where the Bulldogs are going to be a heavy favorite, where maybe they get maybe a few more snaps and take more advantage of those 3 games they get to play.
Yeah, it's probably not going to be much of a factor with the American International game, but certainly for the homecoming game against Roosevelt, potentially that could be the case.
Could be a few others down the line as well. You never know here as the Bulldogs will keep it on the ground. Good hard run here. That offensive line right now powering forward.
Man, they are just dominant right there. Just a good forward lean right there. And
Kobe on the carry.
Just picking up another first down right here. So they move the chains again, and under 25 seconds to go is Bulldogs do not have to run another play.
And I don't think they will because head coach Tony Anise already out near midfield making his way to the Ashland sideline. Got to be thrilled with the way his team came out and played tonight against a quality opponent. The Bulldogs certainly controlled this game from start to finish here against the Eagles.
Yeah, Bulldogs just absolute dominance here in this game. And, boy, what a statement win for the Bulldogs.
Ferris State defeats Ashland University tonight. Final score, the Bulldogs win it 43-3 here at Top Taggart Field as they move to 2-1 on the year and head into a bye week with plenty of momentum here as they get ready to travel to American International in a couple weeks.
Yeah, Bulldogs have to be proud of the way that they've emerged since that Pittsburgh State game, and they have really stepped it up, and they have played better and better and better. And boy, what a way for the Bulldogs to respond.
A lot of sportsmanship and respect here among both sides. This has been competitive rivalry or series, if you will, over the years between Ferris State and Ashland, and hopefully we'll get to see this one again in the near future.
Yeah, we don't know what the near future holds for the rivalry, but you got to think these two programs, with the respect that they have and the high caliber of these two programs, that at some point we'll probably get that going again.
Ferris State gets the victory here tonight. Big thanks to Ferris State Television for providing our video coverage right here on Flow Sports. Of course, we'll have the Preferred Office Machines post-game show on Sunny 97.3, the Bulldog Sports Network, and of course on Metro Flint News Talk Radio as well. Once we come back after this next break, the Bulldogs get the 43-3 victory and put on a great show here in front of the home fans.
Yeah, just an outstanding performance in all three phases. Bulldogs just did an outstanding job right from the start. With that big return by Tariq Brett, Bulldogs set the tone there. The defense came back, followed up, and then it was just all Bulldogs. It was like a landslide that Ashland just couldn't really get from under, and Bulldogs rolled to a big lead.
Next home game for the Bulldogs, homecoming coming up on October 5th. That'll be our next TV broadcast here of Ferris State football, as well as the Bulldogs wearing the black tonight, and they black out the Ashland Eagles. Final score, 43-3 right here in Big Rapids. That'll do it for our coverage here at Flow Sports and Ferris State Television. Reminder, we'll be back after this 2-minute timeout with more of the Preferred Office Machines post-game show on the Bulldog Sports Network in Sunny 97.3.